National Party, the People's National Party, has either asked him to recuse himself or have removed him from the PAC. Penalties need to be levied. And no, it is not enough for someone to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm paying the fines alone. If Mr. Gardner or Jacden can only pay and finish up, then it will not be a deterrent. And we need this to be a deterrent to him and others.
Dr. Gavin Myers, Principal Director of the NIA.
And Nationwide News has identified the principals of the other three companies at the center of the UHWI tax exemption saga. The information was obtained from the company's office of Jamaica. For Supreme Laundry Services, a company with a focus on janitorial services, the directors are listed as Chantal Hill and Josephine Chambers Lynch. Wilman Sales Company Limited has Sean Manley listed as its sole director. The company's focus is listed as merchandise retail. Scientific and Medical Supplies Limited is a company focused on laboratory testing. The principal directors are Peter Liu, Howard Lau, and Elsie Lau.
And the youth arm of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP Young Jamaica, says both Julian Robinson and Dennis Gordon should resign from Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC. Robinson is the chairman of the committee, while Gordon is a member. Young Jamaica's call is in reaction to Robinson's response to the ongoing tax exemption controversy involving the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, and Jacden Limited, the company implicated in what the Auditor General's Department described as an unlawful and inappropriate transaction. Gordon is the principal director of Jacden. In a strongly worded statement, Young Jamaica accused Robinson of acting as an explainer-in-chief for Jacden. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The criticism follows comments made by Robinson during an interview on Beyond the Headlines. There, Robinson indicated that Dennis Gordon had informed him that the outstanding duties linked to Jacden Limited had been repaid to the UHWI, amounting to approximately $10 million.
The principal of Jacden has indicated to me that one of the reports relate to his company, and he in fact has paid to the university the sums of the duties that are outstanding. He has told me that. At this stage, I can't speak on the other entities, but he has indicated that to me.
Robinson also dismissed calls from Young Jamaica for Gordon to be held accountable, suggesting the group was engaging in partisan politics.
I can't take them seriously. I mean, if they want to be consistent and credible, there are so many people in their own party who they should have called for their resignation. They're just playing party politics. I mean, as I said, a report was done by Customs. It identified what the duties are, and Mr. Gordon has paid those duties.
But Young Jamaica has rejected that position, arguing that repayment alone does not resolve the seriousness of the breach identified by the Auditor General. The organization says Robinson's remarks were dismissive, contemptuous, and undermined the principles of accountability expected of someone in his role as PAC chairman. It's now calling for Robinson's immediate resignation as PAC chairman, citing what it described as his clear bias and unsuitability for the position. Young Jamaica has also renewed calls for Gordon to step down from his role as a member of parliament, PAC member, and chairman of the opposition People's National Party's Region 3. Jacden Limited benefited from a waiver of approximately $10 million through the improper use of UHWI's tax exemption status to import 12 dialysis machines in 2024. The Jamaica Customs Agency has since completed its investigation into Jacden, while probes continue into other companies such as Supreme Laundry Services, Wilman Sales, and Scientific Medical Services. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And Nationwide News understands that the Ethics Committee of Parliament is to probe the Jacden UHWI matter in relation to the conduct of Member of Parliament for East Central St. Andrew Dennis Gordon. The Ethics Committee of the House of Representatives is a sessional select committee established to uphold high standards of integrity and conduct among parliamentarians. Its primary role is to investigate breaches of the political code of conduct, manage conflicts of interest, and oversee compliance with statutory regulations for members of parliament. The chairman of the committee is West Central St. James MP Marlene Malahoo Fort. The committee is set to meet next Wednesday. It's uncertain if the matter of Gordon will be on the agenda of next week's meeting. Ethics Committee meetings are always held in camera.
You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5:16.
Why, hello, beautiful dolphs. Nice, beautiful lady, you see, man. Why, you know, so yesterday I sit down. I'm there, I defend.
Continuing the news, Government Senator Marlon Morgan has sharply criticized opposition leader Mark Golding over what he describes as his dithering in addressing the growing UHWI Jacden controversy. In a statement issued Thursday, Morgan says Golding's silence on the matter, despite mounting public scrutiny, raises serious concerns about his commitment to accountability and transparency.
PNP President Mark Golding's prolonged inaction in dealing with the deepening scandal concerning the unlawful use of the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status, which has engulfed a company owned by the PNP's Region 3 chairman, Dennis Gordon, is totally unacceptable.
Morgan further contends that even if corrective steps are taken at this stage, the delay has already eroded public confidence in the opposition leader's credibility.
This is the same Mark Golding who, on the campaign trail, claimed to be zero tolerant in relation to such acts. Golding has absolutely no credibility. Even if he takes belated action at this point, his prolonged inaction confirms to the Jamaican people that he cannot be trusted, and he cannot be trusted to treat with the matters of accountability, transparency, and probity in any serious manner.
Marlon Morgan, Government Senator.
Police in Area 5 are reporting a historic drop in murders, with killings falling to their lowest level on record for the first quarter of the year. Area 5 comprises St. Thomas, St. Andrew North, as well as St. Catherine North and South Police Divisions. Area 5 Commander Assistant Commissioner Howard Chambers says the area recorded 14 murders between January and March 2026.
Whoa.
That's a sharp decline from 48 during the corresponding period in 2025.
The monthly figures of 4, 7, and 3 murders for January, February, and March, respectively, reflect an outstanding 71% reduction, coupled with an impressive clear rate of 192%, that is 123 less crime. This achievement represents the lowest number of murders ever recorded in the first quarter since tracking began in Area 5, marking a truly phenomenal accomplishment in public safety and law enforcement. This success is a result of the unwavering commitment, professionalism, and strategic focus of all divisions, working in close partnership with the community and stakeholders.
Assistant Commissioner Howard Chambers, Area 5 Commander. ACP Chambers says all the divisions recorded improvements, with the St. Andrew North Police Division reporting 0 murders, down from 11 last year. The division has also gone 123 consecutive days without a murder. St. Catherine South recorded a 79% reduction in murders, while the St. Catherine North saw a 46% decline. In St. Thomas, murders fell by 40%. Overall, Area 5 also recorded a 44% reduction in major crimes, with 123 fewer incidents reported, making it the top-performing police area for the first quarter of 2026.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie is condemning the attack of an elderly homeless man in Port Maria, St. Mary, and is calling for public cooperation in ensuring the swift apprehension of his attackers. The man was attacked and robbed by 2 young men on Wednesday, April 1, near the Port Maria market. Minister McKenzie says the victim is well known in the area, as he often helps vendors who use the market and is occasionally paid for his services. He notes that the assailants could have observed his habits and saw him as a convenient target. Minister McKenzie says while he's outraged by the attack, he is relieved that the man is now in stable condition.
Thank you, Angie.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute
Prime Minister Philip Davis has announced that the Bahamas will hold its next general election on May 12, officially launching the next phase of the country's democratic process. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Davis said he will advise the Governor General to dissolve Parliament on Wednesday, April 8, in accordance with Article 66 of the Constitution. Writs of election will then be issued the following day, April 9, formally setting the stage for the national vote. Prime Minister Davis reminded voters that those holding valid purple voter ID cards do not need to register again. However, he urged first-time voters and those needing to update their information to act quickly. This as the voter registration deadline coincides with the dissolution of Parliament.
U.S. President Donald Trump has removed Attorney General Pam Bondi from her post as America's top law enforcement officer. Bondi is a longtime ally and fierce defender of Trump's administration. In a post on Truth Social, Trump says Bondi will move to a role in the private sector. Bondi's time leading the Justice Department was often overshadowed by its handling of the release of files relating to Jeffrey Epstein. She's the second Trump administration official in recent weeks to be cut from her post after Kristi Noem was ousted as Homeland Security in March. Bondi will be replaced by her former deputy.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, gas prices to go up $4.50 as Petrojam announces another round of increases in fuel prices.
3 multilaterals exploring ways to ease the escalating global economic and energy disruptions caused by the U.S.-Israel war with Iran.
National Integrity Action also calls for the PNP's Dennis Gordon to recuse himself from Parliament's Public Accounts Committee.
And Young Jamaica goes further, saying both Dennis Gordon and Julian Robinson should resign from the PAC.
I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
You can find the news on our website at revonews.ai and on the Revo News app. It's available on Google Play and the App Store. News next to the headlines at 6.
Your investment idling. At Russell's Employees and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, we know the power of compounding.
I was sitting here 2 days ago defending Julian Robinson as a comrade, saying how he had presided over a fair hearing. But listening to Mr. Robinson's interview where he sought to make excuses for the behavior of Dennis Gordon Company is now telling me that a comrade would always be a comrade first. Remember the first time. To simply come and say you pay the fine, so you're all right now. Then what to stop the criminal in a prison because he thief something? If he returns what he steals, shouldn't he then be freed? The man in a prison for thief, you know, could I just return when thief and go on? If that is simple, if that is the excuse. But that's the thing I say, user. Yes, I know now I have to stand in support of a young Jamaica. Right? And I am happy to finally hear 2 of the regular paper groups are now whispering. And I note that it is not the head of the organization who here speaking. Normally it's the head of this organization coming out with the pitchfork and torch. But they can't find it within themselves to speak.
Taking first innings points. In fact, they did so on the second day, on Wednesday, over at Manchester High. The Santa Cruz-based school made it 232 for 9 after resuming on 148 for 2 on the final day. And they were responding to 104 all-out by Manchester High. Terry Brand led the scoring. He made 92.
I don't think this will affect his statutory declaration. This will be with his company. The company. He's He's the principal of the company, so it won't affect his personal declaration, but the company is the problem, and he presided over the company. Oh boy. Right, he presiding over the company. Well, we look forward to see it, you know, because all this, the payment won't come from him. It will come from the company. William Hart, bless up yourself. well, we will look and see. Well, use a JRAS know the organization when him often defends a corrupt organization, you know. Most of them is just blind to it. I saw Ingram here earlier. Ingram is blind and is hurt. When anybody speak, it hurt him heart, and him pretend to be this all holy, elderly. JRAS is joining the party. JRAS, I said the organization which you often support, so am I wrong?
Brother, how are you, man?
Money.
Yeah, as soon as I joined the live, this guy comment. I didn't even comment on the live. As soon as I joined this guy, what happened, man?
I think him know you from he probably recognize your name from other platform, man. Joe.
Well, so since as this label me and you reiterated, yeah? I'll ask you a question. Who approved the exemption?
Who approved it?
Yes, the exemption. That he could get the exemption and the goods that he brought in.
Well, it is said, as according to what came out in the hearing, the committee hearing, it is signed by the head of UE and a person that no longer works there. They haven't named the other person.
So who the chips fall and no? Who the chips fall on? No. Yeah.
It's both the UE, both the university, hospital, and the companies will be fined.
Who is the head of UE?
The former CEO, I forgot his name. The former CEO and whoever, they did not name the other person that signed off on the arrangement. But they say one of the person, and they don't know if it is fraudulent or not, but one of the persons has not worked at the university hospital for over 2 years. But they were still signing documents.
So why do you think Dennis Gordon is in trouble for it?
Because Dennis Gordon's company benefited from it, sir.
Yes, but did he's the person, did it have to go through someone else before he could be benefited? I mean, I am not supporting corruption, you know, but we have to look on it.
It seems as if you're excusing it.
No, I'm not excusing it either. But we have to look at it from a logical
point of view. Let's reason it this way then. Let us reason it this way. Dennis Gordon has political influence, don't you think?
Right.
He's a member of parliament. He sits on many committees. He's chairman of many boards, so he has political influence. Getting something like that done will need influence, and he has the influence to get it done. Not just that, you know, JRAS. Here's Dennis Gordon's problem now. When news broke and Nationwide and other stations reported that Jacden was a part of them, he got his lawyer to write them very strong letter all the time, knowing that his company was a part of it.
I understand that, and I'll excuse him. I mean, the chip should fall where it goes.
Yeah, but it's sound to me like you're excusing Dennis Gordon because you can't.
And I am not excusing him. He should face the brunt of the law, and also the person who approves it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
you can't
and
call
all of them
for
will
one.
face it. That is
I
why.
think, all right, you know where I'm going now? You know where I'm going? I am calling for Dr. Christopher Tufton to explain all of this, because he is the head of the medical organization of Jamaica. I am calling for his head.
You want Tufton head? How? Tell me how you link this to Tufton. Show me the link to Dr. Tufton.
He is the head of all the medical facilities, brother. He is the head.
Show me the link to Dr. Tufton.
What do you mean the link?
Yeah.
If who the CEO answered to at UA?
The board.
Who the board answers to?
Well, UA is. Come
on. We cannot argue. We cannot argue.
Hold on. You ask me a question. Allow me to answer the question when you ask me. You just ask me who the board answer to. So let me tell you. The government has 8 members of the board. The hospital has the hospital have 10. Right? Yes. The minister run the chair, I think, if I'm not, give me a second. Right? The minister run the chair. Minister run the chair. But you know that unless Minister Tufton is micromanaging, Minister Tufton is not involved in the day-to-day running of the hospital. Okay, do you think the minister is involved in the day-to-day running of the hospital?
Why you think if the health minister or
the question? Do you think the minister?
I am gonna answer this way. Why you think if the health minister or the agriculture minister, any minister in the particular party messed up, they call on Andrew Holness to remove them?
The minister, yes. So you call on Tufton to do is to remove the board.
Yes, but
the Minister of Health did not mess up in this thing, sir. The Minister of Health no do nothing here, so you know. It's the hospital that is at fault.
Yeah, come on, man. So the hospital is just run on its own?
No, the hospital is at fault, sir. And Gerald, listen, Gerald, listen to me now. And here is why systemic problem in Jamaica don't get fixed. Because you know why? Because over the years we believe that all you have to do to fix any problem that we have is to just remove one politician and everything all right.
But that is not exactly what we are calling for now when the man gets an exempt.
No, we're not calling for Dennis Garden to be... No, Dennis Garden resignation is not because he's a politician. It's because he's the principal owner of a company that sought to benefit through illegal means. It's not, we're not asking for him to be removed because he's a politician.
We are asking for him to remove because he's a politician, Chuck. Come on. If he's not a politician, how are you gonna ask for this man to remove?
Jairus, you see, here you're going.
If he's not, hold on.
You're simplifying the reasoning.
If he's not a politician, if he's not a politician, he would not have influence on the public. Right? Correct?
Jairus. Or Mr. Gardner uses his position. Mr. Gardner uses his position as CEO of the company. Yes, but explain to me how Christopher Tufton, who is the Minister of Health, I know you have not pointed the link to Dr. Tufton in all this setting.
Because the board has to answer to Tufton, and he should be fully aware of what is going on. He's incompetent.
So what you're saying to me is that you believe.
And I don't want to hear about micromanagement. I work for a company, and the sole responsibility lies on me, and then it moved to my hotel director, and then it moved to the captain. You know what capacity I'm in, bro. Come on.
Let me give you management structure. Let me give you a management structure.
One moment. I am not picking up for Dennis Garden because I believe that he should be removed. He should be going. But I am just simply saying he's not the only one should be going. That's all I'm saying.
And he's not the only one to go in. The board of the U, the management of the university hospital will go.
Chuck,
But
can
let me
I
give
ask,
you.
Chuck, I'm sorry.
Hold on, Angel. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
I don't want them to just pick on me and said, okay, I always defend one side. And
hold on, Jairus, let me give you this of my experience. I said this all the while that I spent years working at the Gleaner Company. Oliver Clark is the managing director. You had an advertising manager, an editor, or should I say editor-in-chief. You have a production manager. You had a circulation manager. And you have all these positions. Now, let me ask you this, Jairus. If somebody's ad appear wrong in the paper, who do you think they call?
The editor.
No. They would call the advertising manager. If somebody name is spelled wrong in an editorial, they will call the editor.
Right. Sorry.
If somebody didn't get their paper one morning, they will call the circulation manager. Okay? Now,
I'm listening to you.
None of these calls will ever get to Oliver Clark. But Oliver Clark is the managing director.
Right. But why?
Do you know how these calls will get to Oliver Clark?
I'm listening to you.
How would these calls get to Oliver Clark, who is responsible for all the managers I just tell you about?
I'm listening.
If something extreme happens.
But you don't consider this extreme, Chuck?
This is a management issue.
Chuck, can I ask a question? Maybe we'd enlighten just a little bit.
Sure,
J. Ross, can you explain to me under what precedents should this that you stated affect to the point where you're saying that Minister Tufton should be removed? Explain under what precedents and how does the chain of command, what role and how this leads to him being removed. Explain that. Maybe we can understand, because I'm not understanding.
He is the head. He is the head.
Listen, please don't reason like that. We know what his position. Hold on, Philippian. We know what his position is. We want you to explain to all the 100 people on here what happened with UWI and tell us who is responsible for what and why it ends with Dr. Christopher Tufton, please.
Is UWI a government-run institution?
Don't ask me the question. I'm giving you the platform.
You is part private.
I am giving him the platform to speak to the people and explain this, please.
Listen, you came in on a platform and telling and asking me a question, and you said I should not ask you any question?
No, I never said ask me, not ask me. I said I don't know, sir. And I'm asking you to explain.
I am not explaining. I'm asking who is the head of the health department in the country.
The permanent secretary. The permanent secretary is the head.
I don't want to talk to this lady because all she do is disrespect me, not Chuck. I'm sorry.
You always disrespect the prime minister.
Philippine, please, just a second. We can have this conversation. I just want to
calm down, guys. Hold on.
Please, just a second, Philippine.
You can look.
I respect
ladies. You know that I respect ladies, but this lady always telling me what I must go and suck and all this.
I am the one speaking to you, J-Ross. She's not going
to do it today, I promise. She's not going to do it today.
No, but it's not about today, but I cannot. Chuck, I'll give you a call, bro. Don't worry. I will give you a call. But I cannot share platform with people who disrespect me when I never disrespect.
But you share platform with Dre Bryan and Andre.
You never hear me Andre Bryan platform. You never hear me call any other. You know Chuck platform.
Guys, hold on.
Philippian, stop, please.
Everybody mute. More play the interview here, please.
Yes.
Listen to Mr. Chuck.
To the consumer, somewhere in around $22-23 per liter of increases over the last 5 weeks. Say that again for us, Philip John. Put it into context. Since the war broke out in the Middle East, the consumers here in Jamaica have faced 5 consecutive weeks this year, $4.50?
5 consecutive weeks, including yesterday. But the prices change whenever the refinery announces their price. So including yesterday, it is 5 consecutive weeks that we're facing. It amounts to somewhere around 15% increase, or 15 to 18% increase, right, for the 5 weeks, which in dollar value, I mean, I am shocked because it affects us as retailers. $22.50 to be exact.
That's massive, and you have said here that you are noticing a decrease in sales among your members. Let's see if we can bring into the conversation those members, the guests who represent the transportation sector. We have the president of JUTA's Kingston chapter with us, Nora Williams, as well as Jacden Newman. Let's begin with you, Mr. Williams. How have your members been faring with these increases?
Well, I can certainly tell you that this is having a massive impact on our operators. As a matter of fact, we had a discussion just today. We were having a discussion, and I was also talking to my other counterparts in the northern part of Jamaica, which are also having some serious questions about the impact that this gas increase is causing on us. As Mr. Chong alluded, that for the last 5 consecutive weeks, we have every Thursday we have an increase. And while we understand the situation, and we understand that all of this is caused because of the global situation, that war that is now affecting not only Jamaica but affecting many parts of the world, and we understand that. But at the same time, we are having a serious issue, and we were actually thinking this place anyway, which is going to be very difficult for any subsidy to be granted to certain sectors involved in transportation here in Jamaica. But for right now, as we're saying, all our operators are complaining. They are asking the question to me every day: what can we do? What next do we do from here? Do we start thinking about an increase of operation in terms of charging more for trips and from the airports and whatever? We have to think in that direction. But for now, we are actually just watching and see what's happening, and if there's going to be any changes anytime soon. But we are feeling the pinch seriously as we speak.
The JGRA president says among his members, they're noticing a slight decline in the purchasing of petrol. Are you seeing a decline in customers utilizing your services?
Well, certainly, yes, we are seeing that. And one of the things that I might even look at is that, I mean, normally you would have go to the gas station, you'd have tried to fill the vehicle up. Maybe you have to now try to buy, where you used to buy $20, you will end up buying $10 because you have to be thinking of the cost. But it's affecting us directly in terms of customers, but at the same time, we are trying to survive in the circumstances.
Look, listeners, this is the cover story. We're talking about the impact of the fuel prices, global increases that have translated to local increases. We're looking at the impact here in Jamaica. 5 consecutive weeks of $4.50 being added to the prices. And the JGR says its members are seeing a decline in people purchasing petrol. We're going to talk some more when we come back. We're going to hear from Jacden Newman of TONS. This is the cover story. Soon come.
5 consecutive weeks. Yep, I see it.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical.
Guys, let me say this now while we break from this interview.
Chuck?
Yeah, listen to me. Yes.
Chuck, look, I'm going to show you something. Look at this. What the price?
I'm in love. That's a $4.79 to $5.99.
Hey, Nelly. You see the price?
Yes.
I got gas this a couple days ago. I had to pay $4. The other gas station I paid was like $4.17. I'm upset. Look at what, up $5.99. Okay? Diesel is $6. Super is $4.79. All right? Okay.
That's what happens when you give a madman the key to the city. They tend to destroy it. And that's what we're having today. Right? But me not skip and jump, guys. Listen, where Jera said, I need Jera to come back to make we finish the conversation. Right? Because the idea we say, oh, Dr. Tufton to resign because of this. I wanted him, guys, and that is why I'm telling the AJL Philippians. You know, have to take out, sometimes just allow me to have.
Do not mix me in that. I asked them, hold on, Philippians, all the time. Talk?
No, Philippians, you have trauma about you.
It's not me, he's talking about Philippians. I was having a conversation with him.
Guys, sometimes just allow me to have a conversation because I wanted him to give me the link between that. Whenever as I think as if a Philippians type it, which I agree with. Whenever a policeman is caught with corruption, we don't ask for Dr. Chang to resign. Well, I'm not going to listen to Mr. Tad now.
I should tell you that Mr. Chang is right because I was checking it at 4 weeks at $14 off. You know, and he's now saying 5 weeks. So we are in serious trouble here in Jamaica. What is happening in the Middle East? I think every time Mr. Trump speaks, we are in more trouble. And if you follow him, then things is going to get worse in the next 2 weeks. I am looking where we are going 6-7 weeks down the line. A matter of fact, the company, government agency told us that we should not worry ourselves too much because they have reserved up to 4 or 5 weeks. Well, the 4 or 5 weeks is now up. And of course, we're going to feel it much, much more. My minister told me 3 weeks ago that we will get our 16% in the next, in June, and an official announcement in the next 4 weeks. Well, we have 1 week to go. And that 16% will not help us. We are way past that 16% now. And I can only say to the commuting public, brace yourself for a serious increase in terms of fears because we can't take it anymore. We cannot go.
So how are you going to go beyond the 16% that you are being granted? You can't set the prices.
Oh, no, we can't. So the minister is willing to give us that 16% by June. Understand me now, my brother. And we are facing this crisis now. It is a double whopper on us. So we are wondering where are we standing in the next 2 weeks from now if the war continues, and it's going to continue for the next 3-4 weeks. What are we going to do? Because not only the transport, the taxi, but the truckers will tell you that they can't hold out any longer.
Yeah, but what I'm still not getting, why are you telling customers to brace for more than the 16% that you said was agreed? Who is going to give you that additional increase right now?
Tyrone, I want you to listen to me very carefully. We are owed at 16% for the past 2.5 years.
Right, and you did say the minister committed
to receive that. The minister committed to give us that in June. Now, if the price of fuel continue to move, Mr. Chong, what will happen in the next 2-3 weeks? Are we not going to pass on that to the end persons in the transport sector, which is our customer?
So you are saying you anticipate that the minister is going to give you an over and above that 16%? That's what you're saying?
The minister has his job cut off for him. He expects to give us 16%.
No, but you are telling consumers to brace, Mr. Newman, and that's what I'm challenging. And you don't have the autonomy to tell consumers that.
I have the authority to tell them from now to brace themselves for an increase in fares. And I'm not going to go beyond that. I'm just saying, on that 16% increase, with the continued war in the Middle East, what's going to happen? We have to expect something more.
So you and I agree that you can't increase the prices.
Absolutely not.
Good. So you can't be the one to tell customers to the traveling public to
brace. I am saying to the customers out there that the minister has promised to give us a 16% increase. Brace themselves for that. I'm also saying that with what is happening in the Middle East, we expect more.
All right, and I'm going to come back to you because we know how some taxi people are raising the prices without the official channel. We're going to come back to that, but let me bring Philip Chung back into the conversation. Philip Chung, I'm yet to believe that, but Philip Chung, let me ask you, any notion that we might run out of supplies? Because Edgerton Newman just raised that issue. In terms of the talks you've been having with Petrojam, we're okay when it comes to fuel supplies?
Well, Petrojam would answer that more accurately, but I do not believe that that is a critical part for Jamaica right now. While our fuel bill increases, I believe that the relevant agencies will adapt to it. So I don't really see a shortage of petrol. What I do see is more increases.
How much more of this do you think we can bear, Mr. Chung? How much more of this do you think we can bear?
You want to go back to in the 80s?
No, I don't know that we want to go back to
prices went
the 70s or the 80s.
Prices went above the crude. There's the crude now. It's about $112 a barrel. Prices went up to about $120, $130 a barrel. And Jamaica court, we had to brace. Consumers started to pull, and as logics would dictate, if you say you're going to go down the road, you make sure that you have your list. So when you go down the road, you achieve everything that you want to achieve, and you go back home. You know, because the increase, as stated before, is about 18%, right? It affects us as retailers because we operate on a single unit, a margin. And our margin is being eroded by the structure.
By the structure of?
The structure. My phone is giving me a little problem. By the structure of what is actually happening. Expenses are going up.
So have your members been passing on the $4.50 each time?
Yes, we have, but we passed on at a cost. It is at a cost to us, so we're losing we've lost somewhere around $4 of our margin since the increase.
So you've sought to absorb some of the increase then?
Yes.
No, they have not. That is not true.
For how much longer we can hold on to that, I'm not sure.
Let me bring the Juta Kingston chapter president back in. Mr. Williams, how do you go about getting increases in your prices that you charge? And are you calling for some kind of special increase to offset what we're seeing in terms of the volatility with the oil prices? Mr. Williams? It seems we've lost Mr. Williams. Back to you, Edgerton Newman. The people of Jamaica don't need to worry that some of your unruly members will try to gouge their eyes out with unlawful price increases.
You know, I don't know who is called unruly members.
You don't know them, the ones that drive on the opposite side of the road?
No, I see my guys now turning a corner, which seems to be a positive turn in the sector, and I want to commend them immensely. Let me tell you something.
Mr. Newman, if you bury your head in the sun, it's not going to change what is happening now.
Would you believe since the start of the year, the transport sector has not had one fatal accident? You're not promoting that, Tyrone. You need to commend us on that because of continued training and development and communication with our members across the island. Things are looking up for them. That's why they're so quiet.
Even up to this morning, I saw some of your members doing it. Red plate, taxi operators, driving on the wrong side of the road.
You put on that blinker looking out for them. You know, you shouldn't be driving.
A blinker, you don't need. If you have a blinkers, you might not see them at the speed at which they're traveling, Mr. Newman. At the speed at which they're traveling. But can you guarantee us that
Let me break away from this for a minute, because I don't believe Mr. Chung's statement that they are losing greatly. When every time the prices change, Petrojam grant them an increase and then pass it on to the customer. I don't buy this crying where I come with, or we're losing because of that stupidness. 4 or 5 consecutive weeks of increase, which means your margin cannot be rewarded when every week, as a price change, you are granted an increase. So me not buy that. Me not buy that. They're not losing one jack shit. But I don't want to talk about Petrojam and oil prices. We know that the dog will come, we have a war. Felipe, I don't want J-Ras and no crush for you. Tell me say you don't want no PNP, man. Right? But as I'm saying to J-Ras now, J-Ras, we don't, when something happens to a policeman, when a policeman is caught in corruption, we don't call for the resignation of Dr. Chang. This is the same thing. The UWI, Board of Management, has been found wanting. The only thing we need to call on Dr. Tufton to do is to take action. And we are calling on Dennis Garden, because Dennis Garden, as a politician, hands is involved in this corruption. Dennis Garden, as a politician, hand is caught in this corruption. Oh, sorry, all right, Philippe, later. His hands are dirty in this. We are not calling for him because he is a PNP or no. He is directly involved in this, his company. And for that, he needs to step aside. He needs to go. And again, I am glad that Jamaican for Justice is finally whispering something. But it's been going on for a couple of months now. And people have to beg them to come out. People have to literally beg Jamaican for Justice to come out and say something. The man who sells himself as the arbiter of integrity, of transparency, of accountability, is yet to even whisper an opinion. He said, I quote at the press conference, let the investigation take its course. Me not take them serious, Lou. Me not take them serious. And if you listen carefully, it's not Michael Jackson speaking on their behalf. Them send out a deputy. But J-Ras, if you're there, come back. Make me finish the conversation, sir. Come back, make me finish the conversation. Because gentle people, listen to me. We have to have cross the floor conversation. Mr. Comrade Blair passing through. I don't know if Comrade Blair is still here. Right? It's the only way we have get. We have to have sensible conversation to get these things out. Yesterday, hold on, Mr. when that gentleman they made up on his platform last night. Hey, if you share it, why am I not see my sharing button? I don't see my sharing button. I can't remember the name of the gentleman I was on his platform last night. I love to share it with him and invite him to come here. Because I was passing through a platform last night. I was there having a conversation with the host. Quality boss, there you see, man. Anybody can share live with him and invite him here for me, please. Anybody can share the live with him and invite him here. Tell him he must come and him have a conversation. Because in 2026, there's some people which I don't find it enlightening to have a conversation with. And he invited up a gentleman who started the conversation by saying, oh, since Melissa and Andrew don't do nothing for nobody. The only proof them will help people are artists and entertainers and TikTokers. From them word the utter, the conversation end. It can't go nowhere after that. Because obviously we are talking to somebody who has no clue. We're talking to somebody that has no clue. So from the moment that are your stance, it don't make no sense we continue the conversation. So that's what I end it. But I message the host and I say, listen to me, host. I would invite you over my platform so we can have a proper conversation. He's an admin, said he's a comrade. I don't mind. Slimmatic. They're like, oh, you ignore me, call if I want to wish you happy birthday and answer me, so. May end up on the war part. Call if wish you happy birthday when your birthday.
6, I'm Shalois Michael. The state-owned refinery Petrojam has announced another round of fuel price increases, citing sustained volatility in global oil markets linked to the ongoing conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. Effective Thursday, the company increased the prices of all major fuels by $4.50 per liter. 87 gasoline will be sold at a billing price of $172.38 per liter, while 90 gasoline moves to $179.82 per liter. Automotive diesel oil will now cost $184.75 per liter, while ultra-low sulfur diesel priced at $191.59 per liter. The National Integrity Action, NIA, has added its voice to calls for the opposition Member of Parliament for East Central St. Andrew, Dennis Gordon, to recuse himself from Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC. Dr. Gavin Myers is the Principal Director of the NIA.
If it is that they knowingly abuse the UHWI tax-exempt status, everybody who is involved, right? Every full extent of the law should be dealt with and should be met with. Administrative sanction, every sanction we can think of should be met here, because it is robbing our health services, our government services of needed revenue. But along with that, it is creating an unfair and unjust system, because there are persons and companies are paying full taxes and having to compete with them. So it is wrong, immoral, and unjust.
It follows confirmation that Gordon's company, Jacden Limited, is one of 4 private entities that benefited from the misuse of the tax exemption status of the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI. The Auditor General report found that the company benefited from a wave of approximately $10 million to import 12 dialysis machines in 2024. Reports are that Jacden has since repaid the sum to the UHWI following the scandal. But Dr. Myers says that is not enough.
I am hopeful that his political party, the People's National Party, has either asked him to recuse himself or have removed him from the PAC. Penalties need to be levied. And no, it is not enough for someone to, oh, I am sorry, I'm pay the fines alone. If Mr. Gardner or Jacden can only pay and finish up, then it will not be a deterrent. And we need this to be a deterrent to him and others.
Dr. Gavin Myers, a Principal Director of the NIA. And Government Senator Marlon Morgan has sharply criticized opposition leader Mark Golding over what he describes as his dithering in addressing the growing UHWI Jacden controversy.
PNP President Mark Golding's prolonged inaction in dealing with the deepening scandal concerning the unlawful use of the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status, which has engulfed a company owned by the PNP's Region 3 chairman, Dennis Gordon, is totally unacceptable.
He further contends that even if corrective steps are taken at this stage, the delay has already eroded public confidence in the opposition leader's credibility.
This is the same Mark Golding who, on the campaign trail, claimed to be zero tolerance in relation to such acts. Golding has absolutely no credibility. Even if he takes belated action at this point, his prolonged inaction confirms to the Jamaican people that he cannot be trusted, and he cannot be trusted to treat with the matters of accountability, transparency, and probity in any serious manner.
Marlon Morgan, Government Senator. Police in Area 5 are reporting a historic drop in murders, with killings falling to their lowest level on record for the first quarter of the year. Area 5 comprises St. Thomas, St. Andrew North, as well as the St. Catherine North and the South Police Divisions. Area 5 Commander Assistant Commissioner Howard Chambers says the area recorded 14 murders between January and March 2026.
The monthly 3 murders for January, February, and March, respectively, reflect an outstanding 71% reduction, coupled with an impressive clear-up rate of 192%, that is 123 less crime. This achievement represents the lowest number of murders ever recorded in the first quarter since tracking began in Year 5, marking a truly phenomenal accomplishment in public safety and law enforcement. This success is a result of the unwavering commitment, professionalism, and strategic focus of all divisions, working in close partnership with the community and stakeholders.
Overall, Area 5 also recorded a 44% reduction in major crimes, with 123 fewer incidents reported, making it the top-performing police area for the first quarter of 2026. ACP Chambers says the police will continue to intensify efforts to maintain and improve on the progress made.
The era 5 will not stop. Message is clear. The era for accepting lawlessness as the new normal is over. We are restoring safety. We are restoring order. And we will continue to use every lawful tool at our disposal to ensure that this progress is permanent. So we are encouraging our citizens to remain engaged, continue working alongside the police to build and sustain safer communities. This is not a moment to be complacent. It's a moment for us to really double down. And so the effort will continue.
ACP Howard Chambers, the Police Area 5 Commander. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smichael. Sports is next.
But, you know, sometimes when you think about it, is that when it comes to managing this country's affair, the Labour Party has never been dealt a fair hand. If we think about it, the Labour Party, when it comes to managing this country's affair, has never been dealt a fair hand. We are always dealing with some external shocks or natural disaster. Always. Edward Siaga had Hurricane Gilbert. Bruce Golding had the world financial crisis. Andrew Wellness had COVID. Hurricane Melissa had to deal with the war in Iran. The war between Russia and Ukraine, between Israel and Gaza, and now between US, Israel, and Iran. All external shocks we have to deal with. But one thing for sure, Beryl too, yes, I'll leave out Beryl. Good management of our economy and our affair always see us come through better than we're going. Always come out on the other side better than how we enter the crisis. And I have no doubt. Seabreeze, you have some, what they pass through your life as a man and see, you have 4 men over there asleep. Go sleep, man. That me over there 4 men asleep, you know. Go sleep, man. You're not tired. No, the incursion was not an external shock, Ella. So no, we not count that one. It's not an external shock, right? That wasn't an external shock, right? So I have confidence that at the end of this, Jamaica will come out on top because we have sensible, steady hands guiding us through this one. We're still sitting on a very strong reserve, which will help us in this one. I don't believe we are in danger of running out of fuel anytime soon. Now will it happen? I keep hearing people call about, oh, what are you gonna put in place why you gonna put in place? People want to understand something. There's a few things we can do locally to possibly cushion the blow. And I can think of one, but I won't mention it right now. And I am sure the government is probably looking into it, but I won't mention it right now. But oil is sell on a world market to a central supplier named OPEC. So it's not like we can search around the world and find one man where I sell it cheap around this and go buy it from him. No such thing. Anywhere you go, it is the same price. The price is set by OPEC, and anywhere you go at the same price. We can buy 2-year supply and put on. We can't afford that. When I don't place the store, we can't do that. So we can buy 2-year supply and sit down. And now you're going to hear the argument about the hedge. The hedge that the PNP had in place come back up. But that hedge was in place from 2014. And in 2026 is when we have the crisis that is running up the price. And that's what I'm saying, Guru. But it will come back up in the argument now. It will come back up, man. It would not be benefiting us at this point. It would be costing us even more because we would have been buying oil for a higher price than it is consistently over the last 10 years. Now, man, Chavi make Seabreeze go on, man. Seabreeze, bother me with Seabreeze, man. Chavi, do not take set for handicap people, man. We are move Seabreeze, man. That take set for one handicap now when you are move Seabreeze, man. Seabreeze is responsible for one type of one, say, you know. Seabreeze, you have to mute somebody we can have a conversation and make points. Seabreeze can contribute to a conversation. Seabreeze cannot contribute nothing to a conversation. Says you mute that. When you mute that, you give more power than he deserves. Right? But when it comes to managing the country, the Jamaica Labour Party has never been given a clean slate to run. There's always something we are recovering from, something we have to deal with, and this is just another one. We bounce back from Hurricane Gilbert. We bounce back from COVID. We bounce back from the world financial crisis. And we're going to bounce back from this. I have absolute confidence in the Jamaica Labour Party as government that them have a plan. Remember, guys, when certain things happen in the world, you, as a government, you now come out and ball out everything to your people. But because you don't want to cause undue panic. Sometimes undue panic creates more damage than it solves. So rest assured, they are in charge and they are doing what needs to be done. But we're not done with Mr. Gardner yet. Right? They are doing it for done. During the hearing on Tuesday, the CEO of UWI said that the university hospital will be fined for their part in the action. They will be fined. So the UWI will have to pay a fine. I don't remember him saying what the fine was, but somebody said to me that it's well over $100 million for the breach. They will be fined by the Jamaica Customs for the breach of their exempt status. Now, Dennis Gordon say, well, me pay my $10 million When me cost them. But Mr. Gardner, I know $10 million you cost them. You are partially responsible for that $100 million fine that will be coming their way. So any restitution you make into the university must include that. I am searching through the recording from Tuesday, so if I can find the exact, so if I can find when they mention it. I remember, I do remember that they mentioned the fine. I don't remember if they mentioned the amount, but I'm gonna search. But somebody tell me that they said it was well over 100 million. So any restitution that Dennis Gardner and Jacden is making must include a part of that fine that will be incurred by the university hospital. And that fine should be split up amongst the four companies that did it, the directors that signed off on it, the taxpayers of Jamaica shouldn't have to foot this bill. Right? So the four companies and the directors that signed off on this deal, that gave access, are the ones that should be paying this fine. The university hospital as an institution should not have to face this. Taxpayers' money should not have to do this. So all of who that's and this is why now I support the call now for Julian Robinson to also recuse himself. Because you sit on the committee that is probing this matter. You should not be having any personal conversation with Dennis Gardner. You are chair of a committee that is probing a matter that involves Dennis Gardner. So the fact that you're having conversation in private with Dennis Gardner, where he can tell you that, hey, me pay them back here, makes you compromise Mr. Robinson. Mr. Julian Robinson, I sat here and I defended your stewardship of the sitting. But now hearing that interview where you admit that you're having private conversation with Dennis Gardner about the matter over which you are presiding makes you compromised. And I am sure you would have sat in that meeting and you would have heard the university hospital say that they are about to be fined. And during that personal meeting with Dennis Gardner, you never find the time to tell him about Mr. Gardner, as you cause this fine to come on this committee, you know. You have to go pay some of it. Seriously, and that's how it works. Right? Both parties, three of them now. Dennis Gardner, Dr. Alfred Daz, and now Julian Robinson, all needs to step aside from them official posts. Dennis Gardner cannot be on the PAC. He cannot be on the planning committee of the KSAC. Anything where the PNP want to do him in them personal party position, that is up to them. We can't tell them not to make him chairman a region 3. But we can tell you to take him off of the committee. He cannot sit on a committee that is probing a matter that involves him. Dr. Daz is implicated in the fact that he sits on the board. He is a part of it. No, it was a private meeting. It was a private meeting, Lisa. He said he told me personally So it's a private meeting. It was not a discussion at the PAC. It's a private meeting, and he said he told me personally that he paid back the $10 million. And which other company, which are the other companies are now making restitution to the tax administration? Which are the other companies? What's the one the name? Is that one that involved Mr. Manley? Is the Manley company making restitution? Is the potential son or grandson of former Prime Minister Michael Manley, is he making restitution? Simple question. I'm not being difficult. I'm just asking simple question. Right? Is he making restitution? Is the Manley family? I agree with you, Mark. I wish Mark this. This is not Mark. Oh no, this doesn't look like the regular Mark. The regular Mark where we always have hide himself when PNP involved in a controversy. Right? But this is deep. Julian Robinson cannot be having a private. Julian Robinson sits on the PAC, which probe these things and is charged with coming up with findings and recommending sanction against these people. So how is it fair for you to be sitting down, having personal conversation with somebody and brave enough to come out on radio to say, the man tell me this personally one away. And when somebody call for your resignation, or them a play politics, because there's many people. There's many people in the party that should. This incident at UE needs to be held and make an example of. Okay? It cannot be swept under the rug. It cannot be no pat on the wrist. It cannot be no pay back the money and it's business as usual. Because I am sure that investigation, whether 6 months down the line or a year down the line, will probably uncover that there are other institutions that this is happening to. And I am hoping now that other institutions will be looking around the room and see if there's anybody within their midst that is doing this. And hopefully to take action before the Auditor Generals get to you. Or before it become a public scandal. But I don't support the call that this is linked in any way to the ministry. Okay? This is not linked to the ministry. The only reason why this is linked to the PNP as an organization is that Dennis Garden is a sitting member of parliament. He is the principal owner of Jacden. And that is the link there. The only call we can make to the Ministry of Health on this is for them to take action to ensure that nothing like this happen again. But the problem here is that we always believe that once we force a politician to resign, problems solve. When many of these problems are systemic. Ministry, thank you, has oversight responsibility. But ministry is not responsible for day-to-day operation of the hospital. Yes, the ministry has overall responsibility for the health sector, but not involved into the day-to-day operation, right? And let's not forget that the university hospital is not a fully public institution. It is not a fully public institution. It has private. What oversight mean? Well, Mark, I think you're insulting what little intelligence I have now. You're attempting to insult what little intelligence I have. I don't purport to have a lot in it, but you're now trying to insult what little I may have. Okay? So I will move on. The ministry only responsibility now is to take corrective measure to ensure. No, yeah, but you go ask me know what oversight mean. You are insulting my little bit of my little ounce of intelligence, you know. I do not purport to be the sharpest tool in the shed, you know, but I can cut my fair share of grass. Okay? The ministry's job here now is to, and the ministry have already started working. Christopher Tufton has already replaced the board. A board is in place. A committee has been set up to oversee and to investigate what happened here and to make recommendation on what action to take. That is the job. That is the job of the ministry in this. That is the job of the ministry in this. Right? Anybody, any comrade who think they have, what may I look for now? Who think they can come and show me the link where the ministry of health what that mean? Prison replace and case close. Yes, but in order for prison to come, Mark, that's why we have to allow the investigation to take its course.
Entirely, Gordon should be removed to eliminate any conflict of interest. Jackson says otherwise the proceedings of the PAC will not be taken seriously by the public. The JFJ executive director says the private companies involved should not only repay the funds, but also face appropriate fines and penalties. Meanwhile, Jackson is questioning how many other companies benefited from this arrangement of diverting funds from the public coffers. She says when a tax exemption certificate is misused, it is deeply upsetting. The JFJ boss says the country must demand accountability, not only in the immediate UHWI situation, but beyond this one. We are now being joined by the Principal Director of National Integrity Action, NIA, that's Dr. Gavin Myers, as well as political commentators Kevin O'Brien Chang and Dr. Nadine Spence. Lady and gentlemen, welcome. We only have Dr. Spence and Kevin O'Brien Chang with us. We're still trying to touch base with Dr. Gavin Myers. All right. Good evening, lady and gentlemen.
Hi, good evening, sir. Good evening, Kevin.
Let me begin with you, Dr. Nadine Spence. Do you support this call from the JFJ boss that Dennis Morris, pardon me, he needs to the Jacden principal, Dennis Gordon, pardon me, should recuse himself from Parliament's PAC?
Of course I do. I think it's a logical thing. I think it's the only thing that makes sense given the facts of the case. It just, I don't know. I don't think that we can argue. It's a logical thing to do.
And do you take a dim view of the fact that he hasn't done it already?
Yes, I take a dim view in respect of the processes themselves that having gone on the committee, it should be automatic that those who are members know that if they're embroiled in such a controversy, it should have been agreed on from before that should anything like this happen and your name is brought into disrepute, anything is implicated against you, that could bring the committee into disrepute, that you step aside.
And not simply just recuse yourself from a sitting. You're saying he should exit the committee as a member.
He should exit the committee, especially because of the nature of the nature of the offence against him. It speaks to the heart of the committee's responsibility.
I want to bring Kevin O'Brien-Chang into the conversation, but we're up on a time signal. Let's take a break right here and come back with Kevin's thoughts.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now.
So while they're on a break, let me say this.
AIG is 6:31.
Oh, they're back same time, all right. Pass to it, big up yourself.
Recently, I've been in the public domain in news about certain issues. I wish I can speak about all much about. What can you say about that issue? What you have learned from it? I was directed to the Auditor General report. When you come back and show me where my name is in the Auditor General report, we can have a conversation. Okay, so that I can't tell what was in the public domain.
That's so arrogant these damn people are.
Now, that video there was taken outside of Parliament on February 12, 2026 at the ceremonial opening of Parliament. And the person you're seeing in that video, yes, is the embattled East Central St. Andrew Member of Parliament, Dennis Gordon. I'm going to play that for you again. He was asked about the matters concerning the UHWI and the abuse of the tax exemption status. And this is what
guys, stop up the screen to me as you come in.
Dennis
Press the follow button if you're not following it.
Recently, I've been in the public domain in news about certain issues. I wish I can speak about all much about. What can you say about that issue? What you have learned from it? I was directed to the Auditor General report. When you come back and show me where my name is in the Auditor General report, we can have a conversation. Okay, so that I can't tell what was in the public domain.
Most definitely.
Not concerned with what's in the public domain. He says, when you see my name in the Auditor General's report, then you can come back and talk to me. This is February 12th, Kevin O'Brien-Chang. He was still doubling down. Today, now we're hearing his company has paid over 10.1 million in those in customs duties. What do you make of that, Kevin O'Brien-Chang, of that response, given what we know now?
I talked to a lawyer friend. He said repayment is an admission of guilt. It does not exonerate. If you rob a bank and then give the money back, you're guilty of a crime. So by paying that money back, it's admission. You have admitted you're guilty. She has admitted you're guilty. And you know, I remember when Floyd Green resigned during COVID, right? He was at a bar with friends.
And I know movement day, yes.
Yeah, right. And still, I guess the principal, maybe the leader, they found it he broke the law. And basically, it was the law to not gather like that, and he resigned. Here is a case where somebody had admitted breaking the law. I heard the Jamaican for Justice lady saying it's unfortunate the misuse of the tax exempt certificate. It's not unfortunate, it's a crime. It's a crime to misuse a tax exempt certificate. So I don't know what grounds there could be for him not resigning. I mean, why should he not resign? You see, me and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm too optimistic. I thought we were just standard in Jamaican politics, where when credible accusations are made about someone, and there's proof on that something could be wrong, which innocent is proven guilty, even though by repaying it, he's admitting he was guilty of not paying the money when it should have been paid. I thought that new standard had been set. Unfortunately, it seems maybe we're too optimistic. And what is more unfortunate is, they always say it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. This was known This must have been known to Mr. Gordon. He paying the money now. When he made that statement, he knew what had not been done.
And I find
it a blatant lie, because he knew he's paying me money now, because he had been found out.
Hello, neighbor. Welcome, my boss.
Which is where I want to bring in Gavin Myers. Dr. Myers, are you with us?
I am with you. I'm listening.
Not too shabby. Welcome to Nationwide at 5. Dr. Myers, and these are the aggravating circumstances based on my own reading of this that I used to inform my view on what should happen. You see him outside of the ceremonial opening of Parliament denying he had his law firm write to media houses. One media house took that letter, did a public apology and retraction, and that, I would say, damaged that media house's reputation in the eyes of the reasonable man. Doesn't the actions of Dennis Gordon make this whole thing even more egregious that we're looking at?
So maybe I'm mixing up a couple of things. One, Dennis Gordon as a person, two, Jacden as a company, and maybe three, Dennis Gordon as a principal for Jacden. So Jacden itself has done egregious wrong and should be met with everything. And Dennis Gordon, the person now, how is Dennis Gordon deal with it? It's something that we have to deal with now today.
Hold on, what do you mean Jacden operates in and of itself? You're separating Jacden from Dennis Gordon?
I'm saying that Tyrone Reid and Nationwide are different.
Yeah, well, I'm not the principal of Nationwide News.
No, I'm just using that point.
Really?
Please don't think I'm taking up for anybody.
No, man, I'm trying to understand where you're going, man. Not at all. No. Just understand where you're going with the point.
I'm just saying that Jacden, the company, has done egregious, and they and persons within the government service at the University Hospital of the West Indies have colluded. I'm using colluded.
Guys, let me break this for a minute. I'll get back to it.
Who is that talking, Chuck?
This is the principal director of Jamaican for Justice.
Cybersecurity certificate uses real-world.
And this is the exact talking points that you hear the PNP with from morning. Say, oh, God, Jacden. So this proved to me now that this organization is colluding with the PNP. NIA, National Integrity Action. My apologies, NIA. This is the exact talking point coming out of the PNP, and now we hear this man with it.
Of Cliff Hughes online. It's good to be with you. Yeah, if you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3.
Hold on, where am I? Hold on. Sorry, guys, I'm missing.
90.9 top.
Hold on, my apologies, guys.
They think that they can be protected. And I don't want anyone to focus on any one person and don't miss that. Because there are several people who are Mr. Big Man, Miss Big Woman, who have been doing this and hiding behind laws and rules and just certain standards that don't hold for the common man.
Yeah,
where can do? Yeah, what the discussion
because the member of parliament, a legislator, someone who contributes to the crafting of laws in the country, and this is why
the common man
Jacden's involvement has taken on much more of a public interest than the others because of the fact that a legislator is said to be the principal of this particular entity. Now, my question to all of you, we've heard that he should recuse himself from the PAC. The PAC is examining this matter. That goes without saying. He should have just tendered his resignation as a member of the PAC, right? That has not happened. He's just recused himself from this meeting based on what the chairman of the PAC has told us. But given everything that we've seen so far, Dr. Spence, let me come back to you. Should Dennis Gordon resign as a member of parliament, given what we know now? Should he resign as a member of parliament? Should he be removed from the chairmanship of the PNP? Given what we know now, the fact that he has paid this 10.1 million, Dr. Nadine Spence, beginning with you, should he resign from as a member of parliament, as chairman of the PNP's Region 3, and from the PAC, everything? Do you think what has happened requires that?
I think for me, clearly the imperative here is around the PAC, and that he cannot now sit in that body, given what we know. And I agree with Kevin that paying back an amount suggests, not suggest, it's an admission of guilt. So I think where that is concerned, certainly he needs to step aside. The member of parliament, I'm not, in a world where that is a part of the Jamaican political tradition, I'd say yes, he should step aside, but it's not. It's not going to work out that way. You might
should that be where we move towards, though, Dr. Spence?
It should be. It should be that for every public official whose values and whose responsibilities are compromised as it relates to their public office, when they call the country's reputation in disrepute, they are asked to step aside, or they know that they should step aside. So I think it would be where we would...
Should he do the honorable thing and step aside?
No, perhaps, but he's not going to.
All right, Kevin O'Brien Chang, what say you? Should he do the honorable thing and step aside from all the public offices that he holds? We've lost Kevin O'Brien Chang. Dr. Gavin Myers, you with us?
I am.
Yes. Should he do the honorable thing and step aside from all the public offices he holds?
Here's my thing. I don't want to speak about him as a gentleman. I want to speak about him on the point of what can we do on the ethics committee? What can we do on the privileges committee?
But why wouldn't you want to speak about him? He's involved.
Because all right, so let me use the point I'm making, and let me use it and explain my point. I want the full force of the law to be brought down on people. I don't want people, I am not asking for a resignation here, you know. What I'm asking for is that the full force of the law, that everything that can be thrown, every book, every single book that we can find, be thrown. So I'm saying, if there is something that he has breached, we should throw every book, and we should have the privilege committee, the ethics committee, and whatever committees that there are in Parliament that can hold members to their sanction that happens. So rather than waiting on someone to either develop a contest or not, we need that within Parliament, but we also need that within the political parties.
But we can't also shy away from calling upon people to resign.
No.
Let me get it out. We also can't shy away from Dr. Myers using our voices to say you've done this, and because you've done this, even if it's not illegal to the point where you can be sentenced for a crime, but if you don't get up to that moral bar, if you don't get up to that accountability bar, we're saying, look, you should resign. And we've seen that where we've called on people who've not committed crimes to resign. And all I'm simply asking you, Dr. Gavin Myers, is this. What has transpired based on what we know now, the denials, having his attorneys write to media houses saying, you need to retract this, one media house did, and knowing very well that these are the facts and that his company is involved. You see the doubling down at the ceremonial opening of Parliament. Is all of that egregious enough, flagrant enough for us to say, no, you need to go. You should resign. That's what I'm asking.
You're asking me, and I'm happy that you have asked that. Every member of Parliament needs to follow the laws and the rules, and you're right, they should, but we should not be waiting or asking for them to do it.
I think I understand what Kevin O'Brien is saying here, you know.
And I am very careful on this. I have been
asking all of them can be done.
Whenever a member of Parliament or any person does anything, we need for them to follow.
Let me pause a little. I think I understand what Kevin O'Brien is saying here. What Kevin O'Brien is saying that if we throw the book at him or at anybody else who violates rules like this, then there will be no need to call for them to step aside. The natural order will follow.
I understand, but Chuck,
that is not
I
Kevin
agree.
O'Brien Chong.
I
That is
agree.
not Kevin. That is not Kevin O'Brien Chong. Okay, that is the.
sorry.
That is the new man for National Integrity Commission. Myers.
But Chuck, I agree with what you say. He's saying, but he should resign, and all of that can happen. But we don't, like he said, you don't have to wait. But why are we calling for him to resign? He should have resigned. And then all of those things fall into play.
Why, let's say, remember Jacden, remember, why did Floyd Green had to resign? Anybody remember?
Because he break
my problem, Chuck.
Hold on, winner. Give me a sec. Why Floyd Green had to resign?
Because at the time the government established a rule, a COVID rule, and then break it and then resign immediately.
No, Floyd Green did not break a rule at the time, you know. At the time, Floyd Green did not break a rule. Gatherings were allowed at hotels. Floyd Green was at a hotel.
Oh yes, that was the case.
Yes, gatherings were permitted at hotels. Floyd Green did not break a rule. But places like Jamaican for Justice and all of these places were up and armed that Floyd Green has to resign. And now the simple process of just saying, okay, fine. Now this is 10 times more egregious than Floyd Green.
Exactly. More egregious. But Chuck, in addition to that, you know, I noticed in Myers, he must struggle. Well, they simply say, look here, man, let's resign, man.
There's a reason why he's speaking and not what's the young lady the name? Forget her name. Not Spence.
Good evening, Father and everybody else.
Daniel Archer.
Daniel Archer is no longer a part of the thing now. She's the private citizen. But my question is, whenever JLP does something, that person is called by name. That person is called and instructed to resign, to step aside, not being feared. But whenever the PNP does something, what they do is try to group everybody. And that is why we get from Dr. Myers. He's afraid to name Dennis Garden, say, hey, Dennis Garden, step aside. So what he does, he groups everybody to shy away and say, hey, I don't need to tell Dennis Garden. What I need to is that everybody should. Right? So he basically cover himself because he doesn't want it to seem like he is attacking Dennis Garden. So you attack 63 rather than attack the one. And that is the level of hypocrisy that I can't take from these people. They saw a blurry video of George Wright. Them saying
they saw a blurry video of two persons having a conflict.
Yeah. So they saw a blurry video of two persons having a conflict. Them say, hey, George Wright, that's okay. Step aside. But this is more egregious. They're saying that, hey, if fraud is committed, you're caught, the evidence is there, all you have to do is chuck a pay back your money.
Pay back the money.
Pay back the money, everything good. Corruption is okay once it is done by the PNP, it's good.
You see, when I want, and this is one of the issues over the years with public bodies. Whenever the JLP do something, it is corruption and it is wrong and it needs to stop. When the PNP do it, all politicians need to be held accountable. When you're so correct. All politicians need to be. Whenever it's the JLP, it's all politicians. Whenever it's the PNP, whenever it's the JLP is wrong. Whenever it's the PNP, it's all politicians. And that is how it has been over the years. Right?
I remember when the rural read sitting was gonna come to Fort, the Prime Minister got wind of it and get rid of him before he even come out. Before he even come out, he said, hey man, you have to pack your bag and leave, you know. You understand? You have to pack your bag. So why rural read can just pay back him in whatever they accuse him of? Whatever they accuse him of. Guilty or not guilty. Just pay back.
Just pay back.
Say, hey,
yes. And you're good.
Everything good. Here. Just take them couple millions and done the case because I can't bother with the foolishness.
Here's some more
when
somebody chop NTB, chop Scotiabank.
And it is critical that we depend on the rules. If we only ask for resignations and think resignations are enough, then we're going to have...
No, but that's a straw man, Dr. Myers. That's a straw man. Nobody's saying this is the only thing that should happen. But I'm asking you, should he resign? It's a simple, pointed question. Do you think this is enough that warrants his resignation?
So I can't. Let me speak about two things. One, he should resign from the PAC. Done. On the point of resigning from Parliament, I am not certain, and I will take counsel from Kevin O'Brien Chang and from Dr. Spence on what has happened before in terms of this type of situation in Jamaica or Commonwealth parliamentary history. I will take counsel there.
Right.
I know for certain that I think that he should resign from the Parliament Public Accounts Committee.
All right.
That's my point of view.
All right. How about you, Kevin O'Brien Chan? You're back with us. Is this flagrant enough for him to resign on all fronts?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the people that hire a parliamentarian are the people. So the people are the ones who fire. He can stay there on that issue because only the people can fire him. But the PAC and the regional chairman, the PNP had the power to make him step down for that one. And he
can resign as well. He can do the decent thing and resign. As well. Should he do it? Is what I'm asking.
No, of course he should resign from the PAC and the regional chairman. He can argue that I'm an MP elected by the people, I'm only accountable to the people, and I can wait till the next election. But there's a letter in the spirit of the law, I hear the NIA gentleman talking about the rules and all that. There's a letter of the law and there's a spirit of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And the parliamentarians are supposed to set examples for the country. They are our highest elected body. And he's setting a very poor example with a string of lies. And now he has been named there in the open. If he stays there, he is hurting his reputation and certainly his party and his party leader. Because how can they possibly ever speak about corruption again when you have a clear case of somebody admitting they illegally did something? And also, and the point is,
thank you, Mr. Higgins. Welcome to the club.
Legislator making laws. You are making laws and then you are breaking laws. So by the spirit of the thing, and he probably should resign as MP. But of course, I keep saying this, since 1990, not a single Jamaican MP has been charged or convicted of anything since Jack Smith Jr. back at that time. They protect each other, and the public is very cynical about that, but no matter what they say in public, they never seem to stand up. And the system itself, we have to have, what kind of system do we have? The Integrity Commission got $2 billion, and we still can't convict a single parliamentarian of any wrongdoing. And maybe we're the most honest politicians in the world, as I say, either that or they have a fantastic system. But I tell you, from a point of the politics, the PNP should be looking and saying, what are we doing to ourselves now? How can we talk about corruption again? Mr. Golding made big speeches, this slightest amount of corruption. Julian Robinson, widely seen as a very clean guy, a potential future leader, and he is there today saying this doesn't look good, what explanations are there. And he talked about the money being paid back, a son of a chief justice, I believe. And he would know that paying back money is an admission of guilt. So it's not looking good for anyone, and the public is looking for examples from the higher-ups. And if Mr. Gordon stays there, Mr. Golding is going to get the blame. He had the power to tell him to resign.
Before we have
Before
we have to skedaddle, this is what Mark Golding, one of the clips from early in January when he was asked about the Dennis Gordon situation. Can we get that very last clip in this wrap studio? The very last clip in the wrap. No, with Mark Golding, from Mark Golding. That final clip with Mark Golding when he was pressed for details. Yes.
the media is fixating on the allegation made by one media house. But when you look at the report, there are many important issues in that report that need to be addressed and should not be swept under the carpet. There are multiple players involved, and it's important that we don't abandon any kind of balance in how we view this and focus on what is actually before us from a credible source. And the only credible source presently having provided any information to the public on this is the Auditor General through her report. And to the extent that she has findings in there that warrant further investigation, I expect those further investigations to be done by the appropriate authorities. And when they make their findings, we will address that. But at this point, we're not proceeding on the basis of speculation, character assassination, or anything of that nature.
And if you could give me that very first clip as well, where you said he spoke with Dennis Gordon, Mark Golding, that is.
He knows my position because my position is not new, and he agrees with my position that chips must fall where they lie if there's anything in any kind of allegation. But at this juncture, he has maintained that he has done nothing wrong, and I have no reason to doubt that because I haven't seen any official investigation, any official report suggesting otherwise. And I'm not prepared to engage in any speculative chase after any individual, which is just on based on
you did that to the Prime Minister, Mark Golding.
Conjecture or based on information, the source of which we have no knowledge of.
We give you, that's the voice here of Mark Golding speaking in general about the situation. Dr. Gavin Myers, does the opposition leader have enough to take action against Dennis Gordon?
The People's National Party should be taking action. The People's National, I believe that, and this should be so. Every political party should.
And just to know that Mr. Myers is here sporting an orange shirt in his photo here, an orange shirt.
Our ethics committee, and the ethics committee, I'm hopeful now, should be making statements and should be asking for persons to make an account, because you can't expect your house to be dirty and want good things out of the road. The People's National Party and all political parties in Jamaica and across the world. And I want to bring something, I don't know if you remember, we can stretch your man so far back. So during COVID, when there was a VIP lane by the Conservatives for certain of their members to get contracts. This is in Britain. And we saw how much it was lost and how badly the country then faced because of this. It's this type of situation where the persons have said that they are above scrutiny from outside. So the political parties have to take a stand.
All of a sudden, why the camera turn on all of a sudden? I wonder why.
And I'm hopeful that the Jamaica Labour Party also recognizes this and also looks within. And I'm not saying that there's anything bad happening there, but I'm saying that they need to look within to ensure that every appearance, every sight of somebody who is breaching the rules like this is dealt with strongly and quickly. Because we can't have Bondi going up like so.
I'm out of time, but I need to get Dr. Nadine Spencer and Kevin O'Brien on that quickly. Does the opposition leader have enough to take action against Dennis Gordon, pardon me?
Yes, man, I think he does, and I think especially given the opposition's own posturing in light of what had happened with the Prime Minister and the whole Integrity Commission, the PNP must. It doesn't have a choice, because if it doesn't, it will have certainly compromised its standing, and Jamaicans are looking at it more from that perspective than anything else.
Kevin O'Brien, final word.
I agree with Nadine completely. Mr. Golding has to back up, he talk the talk, now he has to walk the walk and show he means what he says and get the confidence of the people behind him that yes, I'm a serious person. When I say something, I mean it.
Thank you. But something that integrity boss, that is what he wears on his hat, integrity boss.
Thank you, lady and gentlemen. I appreciate the time and the thoughts. Do enjoy the holiday weekend.
Now, the question I would like to pose now, and this is to Travis. Travis, you're new, so you can answer this question first. And the USWI will be facing a massive fine from customs for this breach. Now, Dennis Gordon's company has said that they pay back $10 million. That was the custom fee that they would have, sorry, the word has slipped me. That are the custom fee that would have been owed from the action.
Original amount that should have been charged.
No, I remember when I was watching the hearing, I remember them speaking about the fine, but I don't remember the amount. But someone said to me that it's gonna be well over $100 million.
Penalties and fees and all of that.
In penalties and fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the exempt fees. Thanks, Jack. Now, this fine that is coming, the 130 million, thank you, Blue. Now, this fine that is coming Hughes's way, shouldn't companies, Jacden and the other companies, the one that should be bearing that fine? I say Jacden, the other three
the
companies.
only way the hospital should bear that burden by themselves if Jacden is being charged and fined separately. Because here's what's true. They have committed a crime. And that's not my saying. And paying back the money that was originally due, is not, does not exonerate you. The crime has already been committed. What you have actually done is accepting that you have committed a crime.
Admitted guilt, as Tyrone said.
And you have admitted guilt. So, I am going to wait patiently. Now put the cart in front of the horse. I'm going to watch as this play out, because one thing's for certain. Jamaica is keen on this case, and Jacden has already done what we need them to do, which is admit guilt.
But Chavi, wait before you come in, sister. Chavi, I think this aspect might go end up in court because it needs to be established what portion of the 130 million that Jacden
as Chaps just advised that they will all be fined separately.
Thank you. Because they're all party to a crime.
To a crime.
This is as if, all right, say a group of person goes out to rob the bank. You don't just charge the people who went inside of the bank and stick up the people. The driver, the person who washes the money, all of these people are party to a crime.
And that's the question I wanted to ask you, Travi. So because earlier when Chuck was talking, somebody was asking Chuck, where's the crime? So isn't this fraudulent? Isn't this a fraud?
Anybody ask you that question, refer to the Auditor General, the Auditor General report where this all things started. Because like Mark Golden, they're playing about who is the credible person who have spoken. Okay, the person that have spoken, Mr. Mark Golden, is the Auditor General that says this is an unlawful act. It is illegal. You have committed a crime.
Right. So let me read something. Can I read something?
Go ahead.
Fraud. Okay. Fraud is the intentional use of deception, lies, or trickery to gain an unfair advantage, usually money or property, at the expense of another person or organization. So Chuck, you wasn't seeing the person text. He was writing in the comment earlier when they were saying, "Where's the crime?" When you was talking, and he was like, "Look, where is the crime?"
It looked like I missed that.
Let me help that person just in case they're still listening. I'll have you to know that the Integrity Commission is involved, and what the Integrity Commission has weaved themselves into is the many years of clearing Dennis Garden's statutory declarations now has to be reviewed, because here's what's true. This is illicit enrichment. Now, my new question is, was he one of the 6 that was being investigated, or 7 or 8, or whatever number you want to put it at? Because he has, through false pretense and lies, like you have read just now, gained over 10 million by not paying custom duties and fees, because he went through.
And this is on one transaction that we know of.
And one transaction that he went through the UE hospital. So you see, I love what they did to pay back that 10.1 million. Because now the Integrity Commission that gets 2 billion a year has questions to answer. We have questions for you. We have questions for you, because this is, we don't have to guess or spell if this is illicit enrichment. We don't need no glasses. We don't need no long lecture from y'all. Clear as day. Right? Now, FID, talk to us. Mocha, please, we're waiting.
You see, it is funny. It is funny, you know. Remember when your granny say, when you dig one hole, you must dig one for yourself too. Now, I think they maliciously send the Prime Minister's document to the FID and the Tax Administration of Jamaica. Never warranted, it was maliciously done. It was done in an attempt to bring down the Prime Minister. And now turn around a few months later, by no action of the Prime Minister, one of their members declared the business is now sent to where? The FID, Tax Administration of Jamaica, for a crime that we know has already been committed. Right? A crime that we know has already been committed.
People of Jamaica listening. And we must, you see how they need loud when they were going after the Prime Minister? We need to be louder, because here's what's true.
Thank you.
It has been proven that the PNP cannot be trusted, because I tell you this. This $10.1 million, if whistleblower never say something and have the Auditor General to go in and say something, all of this would have gone through and they would have ride the waves and nothing would matter. Paying back does not exonerate this man. Because if we never know, you would have keep that 10.1 million in your pocket or even more money, right? And to show you, they use, and the other companies aren't after hooking and their owners and directors. You guys are right up next. Regardless, we understand. You guys are next.
Without any Manley or Patterson or whatever,
in my book, you guys are next, because here's what's happening. These people use the hospital's tax exemption to get their product cheaper and still sell it at a markup that is abnormal.
At an enormous markup, same way.
Abnormal markup. You couldn't say, okay, because we get the tax exemption to you, we are going to cut back this additional cost out of our pricing towards you. No, you factored that in as if you had paid for it and add on to the markup. And let me tell you something.
And Travi, again, Jesus, let me tell you now. Guys, there is a clear difference between labor right and PNP. I'm going to tell you why, where this bring me to. I remember the great used car scandal of 2018.
Yeah.
Who remember that scandal? The gentleman that bid and won the bid to import the vehicle, his contention with the government was saying, listen to me now, because that government may bring it in for, me never had no duty to it. And him and the government fallout was that man was a labor right, the labor right gave the contract, and the labor right government said you have to pay the duties.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is the fallout with that scandal with PNP did I run with. Well, here it is now. A PNP member of parliament has used the government tax exempt status and is still robbing the taxpayers blind.
But Chuck, if they are still doing this during the Jamaica Labour Party government, how long have they been doing this? How many years?
Very good question. And while I can't answer that question with specifics, I'll tell you it opens the door for more questions. Questions like, is the rest of his business, is his rest of his business transaction being looked into and vetted properly? Because I tell you something. Hold on, Paul.
Finish, Paul, please.
1 second, Paul. Are they looking into the rest of his business transaction? Because I'll tell you this. These are learned behaviors. This is not a one-off or something which just happened out of the blue. His rest of business practices must be vetted properly, because I am willing to bet good money.
I'm willing to second that.
I am willing to bet good money. There's more to be found. And I'll say this.
Without
1 second, winner.
approval while sitting on the building committee.
Thank you very much.
Jesus.
Thank you. That's where I was about to go. Because if he could have been the one who is responsible and putting citizens to the rigorous vetting and paying for just to make a rectification of your plan, your building plans and permits, and then build a 4-story building without doing any of this, this is common practice for them. We must look into all of his authority, things that he's supposed to sign off on, and see where if he had taken kickbacks there or he had skirted the process for his friends, as well as his other businesses. We have to look into all of them. The many contracts that he has with the different regional authorities concerning cleaning and all of that. We have to look into all of those.
And that is why it is important that we call for his resignation from these positions.
Wickedness can't
He
done.
has to step aside from these positions. We can't tell the party what to do with him, you know. But from his governmental positions, he needs to step aside immediately.
With immediate effect. It should have. This should have happened on the 9th of Tuesday night, because it was exposed in Parliament Tuesday.
Right.
We're now on Thursday.
Agreed.
We're
Yeah.
now on Thursday.
Agreed, Chavi.
No statement from Mark Golden. No press release.
Nothing.
No emergency press conference. Nothing. What is going on?
I agree, Chavi. Go on,
you know the next thing again too. I remember when the question was asked, and them say, "Oh, who no say Jacden and Jacden how no?" I pulled up a video, and I played when Jacden announced the exact amount of dialysis machines, brand new, they were putting into their business. And I said, "Look at this. No other medical facility in the country did the purchase. It is the exact machine, the exact amount." And you had people who still stood up to say, no, it wasn't him. And they did that because Mr. Gardner and his team was so brazen that they had their attorneys to write nationwide, threatening them about the reporting and the matter of the machines, threatening them. And look where we are now. Look where we are now.
But you see, Chavi, as I say, I try them to try something. So how much them can get people to be silent, just like how people like Ingram and others come on and put up some foolish defense. And when you listen to them, they might try their best to divert and to deflect from the real issue. I see that the law firm that night and
There's a coming in. If you're not following, just press the follow button for me, please.
And others try to deflect from the real issue, because all of this, when properly exposed and properly investigated, what's going to come of it, and people is going to really see the intent of why they want us to win the election. We are seeing all of this in front of our eyes, and we know why they fight so hard and pay so much money to win the election, because there's a lot of things to cover for them. And we are seeing it now in front of me.
Press the follow button as you come in. Please, tap up the screen.
Not only that though, Bridget, Julian Robinson should be removed as chair of the PAC. You cannot have PNP investigating PNP member. That is clearly a conflict of interest. We need hard punching, hard asking questions where the JLP is actually cheering, where the tough questions can be asked. Julian Robinson and people them not go ask Dennis Garden the question. And how the hell is Dennis Garden still sitting on the PAC? He's basically investigating him oneself.
Yeah.
The biggest one of them all. This man, that's why I say you have to look into everything he does, everything he touches. Every time he ever sign in name, we need to look at it. Because here what? This man sits on the PAC asking probing questions, investigating servants of the state who run public bodies, trying to figure out how to expose them if they have acted improperly, while he is on a pirate ship of his own.
Yeah, man, I do the same thing. But this is how the PNP operate, you know. In case them accuse anybody of anything, don't look far. They might do more than that.
It many times that this PNP that we're seeing, they're operating with a Marxist theory, wherein they accuse their opponent of what they do while they're doing it. Many times.
So, Travi, last year I remember every single thing the People's National Party would have a press conference for. I remember one morning, someone, I think it was Sheikah, said they're having a press conference 9 o'clock. I said, over a school bus, over every single thing they would have a press conference for. And, you know,
apparently,
I'm shocked that I haven't seen the same opposition leader who said that nobody in his organization in the PNP members are no one if he ever to find anybody in any form of corruption or anything of such accused of, he, the integrity boss, would not allow them to continue.
Well, this is no longer an accusation. There has been an admission of guilt.
And so Travis, I'm simply asking, if this is just what we found out about UWI, I'm asking the question again, what other entities and where else have they planted their seed? How long have they been doing this for? Because if they're so brazen to be doing this under the Jamaica Labour Party government, because they feel like they have people, the PNP people that they have planted, like Chuck teach me, over the years they have placed these people in these positions. They believe that because these people are in these positions and it's the Jamaica Labour Party is the government, they still can do the corruption, dirty nastiness. It's sickening, man.
And walk away without any consequences.
Without any consequences. This is why some people don't want to get involved when it comes to certain politics and things, because we have to set an example. This cannot be swept under the rug.
And then now when you hear, guys, listen to the integrity, National Integrity Action's tone this evening when they opposed to the PNP, and find back when they were talking about Andrew, I hear the difference. And this is why the problem what the PNP is facing right now is that they are unable to find a credible way to tie this into the Ministry of Health, because that is their ultimate goal. They are just unable to find a way. There's just no way to tie it. The only person we can tie this to is Dennis Garden. And by paying back that money, which is the greatest thing he could have ever done, we now know that he admit I did something wrong, and here is my attempt at restitution.
So we cannot forget that this man uses lawyers to threaten the media not to talk about
threaten the media.
He threatened legal actions. That
Knowing Travi, knowing, you know what that is? You know what that is? That right there was playing the game with the people who they tell everything and they believe them. That the people who believe anything that the People's National Party says.
Angel, what Mr. Gardner and his team did is that they would have stolen your phone from you, Angel, and help you look for it. That's what they would have done. Give your phone and help you look for it.
Same so.
Chavi?
Downtown and in the crowd and I beat the next man to him.
Chavi, for a person like me who have a 95-year-old father, I remember 3 years ago, Papa had to go to the university hospital because what was it? He had a hernia. I forgot what was it.
95-year-old comrade father. Yeah.
Make him stay. Yes, my 95-year-old comrade father needed to go to UA from Portland, and he did. They transferred him from Port Antonio to UA. And whatever the bill was, it wasn't a small one. We paid it. Because we had a bill, and we paid it. And I'm simply saying, when I think about how much this Jacden and these people have done, how much they're stolen from we, the people of Jamaica, scam us, like the scammer them with the phone and call people, except they did it right in the face of the Jamaican people through custom and uses a system, the same system they use the same system me for pay for, and they're getting freeness to that.
Is in place to help. Angel, I just sent you something. Can you read it?
What do I look like to you? Do I look like a secretary?
Yeah, not the first text. The first text personally. Read it, the second one. Yeah.
You didn't send me the first text, liar. Actually, I don't like labor right man already, so I don't know what you have to talk about.
You see, all of the other.
Melissa Sylvia, what PNP man do too, man.
Whatever.
Chuck, you see what this has effectively done?
We're not going wide.
Is to make every other accusation against the PNP credible and very serious questions that should be vetted. That's what this has done. Right now, the $1 billion fraud at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, we can't help but believe that these people are over there swindling money. We can't help but believe Lawrence Rowe now because they have been exposed. When Lawrence Rowe was telling us that they're taking the KSAMC money and funding unelected officials, he wasn't lying.
Manchester, the Westmoreland, all of these things
are all credible. These are all credible. Almost $1 billion in Hanover, right? Hundreds of millions in Westmoreland, hundreds of millions in Manchester. All of these things are credible things.
Catherine Municipal was paying $2.2 million a month to Dans. Not to mention, Dans were given contract to deliver water when they did not own a truck. Right? The
trucks were commandeered. They were taken away and being used by these individuals to distribute water.
Distribute water, all right. See? Guys, listen to me.
All right, guys, I'll try my best. It's not flipping as open as big as I wanted, and it doesn't seem to be. Oh, okay, I think I just got it. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay. All right. It says open letter to the CEO of UHWI. Dear CEO, what has come to the light is not just a procurement failure. It is a direct injustice to the people of Jamaica, particularly the most vulnerable patients in our public health system. At the center of this issue are dialysis machines, life-saving equipment, imported under the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, tax exemption. Yet, based on disclosure at the PAC, these machines never reach UHWI. They are reportedly in the possession of a private entity, and Jamaicans are now paying out of pocket, often exorbitant fee to access dialysis services.
Go for your glasses.
Them in the car, winner.
I don't know why they don't like put on glasses, you know. So you know,
It's not cute.
It's not cute, see.
It's not cute. I want to drive with them. Let that sink in. Okay, let that sink in, guys. The reality.
Right. So make we discuss a part before you move on. So you're right. The UWI pretend to, how me put it? Pretend to import these machines. They never reach, and remember, you know, on the custom farms, UWI is listed as the importer, but the address.
Chuck, I beg that you allow me to disturb you.
Go ahead.
Because I think you're not starting at a position that we really need to look into, because people must see the great damage that is being done. To my knowledge and understanding, the UWI hospital as a whole room filled with a whole floor that is catering to dialysis treatment. They do dialysis treatment there. The question is, what is the status of the dialysis machines at this hospital? What is the status of these dialysis machines that exist at this UWI hospital?
50% non-functional.
50% non-functional. Wow. 50% of what they have is non-functional, right? Now, I am of the understanding, based on PNP's lamentations and protestations on this app, that dialysis machines aren't in none of the hospitals them in Jamaica, and people need to do dialysis. So we are looking at based on their argument, we are in the position where the public hospital don't have ready working dialysis machines, but their tax exemption status is being used to import dialysis machine for a private company.
Oh, I get you.
Levels and levels of wickedness.
Yes, Travis.
The
Oh my
public
God.
hospital that they claim is under equip, its taxation status is being used to equip private entities.
Wow. To take away. Wow.
That is run by the very
Hospital.
people.
The public hospital.
Wow.
That is supposed to offer free health care. Right? That are whether free or cheaper health care, free to my knowledge. They claim it. Triple X, come on here for fight us already. You know? Me, Sheikah, you and all was on here when he's saying all them do a paint up building because they don't have no equipment. But this is why they don't. So they don't have equipment by design because you're using the tax exemption to equip private entities.
To take away from the hospital.
Can I dare say it could be a deliberate attempt to sabotage
Winner,
in order to make sure that these private investors benefit from their
benefits from it. That's how I was thinking, winner.
That is why they're not busy fixing the 50% that is down and non-functional to make sure that their Tapanari's friends business thrive and they make profits.
But you see, if the Integrity Commission had no integrity, you see, if the Integrity Commission had one shred of integrity, they would have used a small fee out of the 2 billion for launch an investigation of their own into these dialysis machines, because I don't believe they're broken or out of service. I don't believe it. No. They have rendered them that way and put out that statement in order to lead business in them friend place. I've seen it before. When I ask you, I have people who work, I have relatives who work in the public service, I have relatives who work in the municipal corporation. Oftentimes, nothing is wrong. These positions are taken so that their friends can benefit. I am willing to bet good money that there are good working dialysis machines in these public hospitals that are being rendered useless just so that the same doctors who has their private practices can make money.
I agree. I agree 100%.
It's not a secret, you know.
Yeah, but Chavi,
these doctors who have private practices steal from the public hospital to go better their business. We know it.
Chavi, if you check the amount of private facilities that has been mushrooming during the time of the PNP over time, right? And this is and look at the state of the public facilities, healthcare facilities, how they have gone depleted, underfunded, under-equipped over time, and look at the private aspect, especially those that is owned by people associated with PNP. You see why everything will come together, you know, right? And this is exactly
continue the other section.
And this is exactly why. As I said earlier, they want us to win the election because it was a grand scheme to continue on the same path that they had started many years ago.
All right, it says the reality underground.
To Paul real quick, because you know everybody's a part of the conversation. I'm sorry, Angel. Let me just respond to Paul. Paul, I agree with you 100%. And it is even more important for them to win the election because Jamaica has a better economy now. So the pilfering that they've been practicing for years would have gotten worse. It would have gotten worse. Jamaica was saved by the bell on September 3rd. Because if you're in opposition and can be doing this, can you imagine if they had state power? Go ahead, Angel.
Okay. The reality underground. Across Jamaica, patients with kidney failure are desperate for dialysis access. Public facilities are overburdened and limited in capacity. Family are forced to scramble for funds or watch loved ones deteriorate. At the same time, equipment imported under a public hospital tax privilege is sitting in private hands. The same equipment is being used in a system where patients must pay to survive. This is not just a governance issue. This is a moral failure.
Medea.
Okay, okay. The hard question, how can it be justified that a public institute exemption was used? I want you guys to answer these questions. How can it be justified that a public institution exemption was used, which is the UII? A tax benefit granted by the government was applied, and yet the public health care system did not receive the equipment. Instead, the benefit appears to have been diverted into a space where the same taxpayers now pay again at high costs for access to that very equipment.
There is absolutely no justification for it. It is a crime, and that's why we have to call for people to face the brunt of the law right on this one. There's no going around it. Everybody that is involved in this one needs to face the penalty for it. I believe the government should find a way to retrieve those machines and put them in the public service. There must be a clause in the law where they can be seized and put in the public service. The building that they sit in was constructed illegally by the same man. Illegally, it should be torn down.
Sure.
The machines were imported illegally. The furniture in the building was imported illegally.
The one next. Cool. So be the case, Tufton head must be rolled.
6, I would love for you to come and tell me the link between all this and Tufton. I am inviting you here, sir.
I agree.
Come and tell me the link between this and Tufton. And I will ask the question that Philippians asked earlier. It's relevant. Whenever a policeman is caught in corruption, do we call for the resignation of Dr. Chang?
6, you can request to come on up because I don't see you. You can request to come on up.
Simple Bible said these simpletons. Simple Bible said these simpletons, and here you are trying to engage the simpletons in conversation. We are simpletons, but you want to engage in conversation. You're too high for that conversation.
When you give them the mic, you know. You have to give them the mic in a public and embarrass them, you know.
Mr. Single,
yeah, man, when they come on and then the mic.
Single Bible pie, send a request and come up and make your argument. Don't just be in the chats, you know, patting yourself on the back. Come on up and let's have a conversation. But Chuck, based on your last part of argument, you mentioned that the dialysis machine sit in a building that has been illegally built by the same person. And I have to say this again, that every single thing that this man has touched must be looked into.
Every single thing, Jerry.
Every single thing that this man has been a part of or involved with must be looked into. This is not a one-off. There's a trend. According to Mr. Ingram, there's a trend of action. I want to ask Mr. Ingram, can he see the trend? I am not having conversation with your, what is your? I am simply making statements, partisan hacks.
Okay. So, Travi.
Again, treat him like.
Let me laugh off of that person, you know. Because you're so important, but yet here you are. You got so much to do, but yet here you are.
If you're not following Chuck, just press the follow button, please. Join the community.
My God, partisan hacks. Yes, you're partisan hack. We're on the party. Our party is Jamaica. What else? Me give you the 15-meter fame you need. You're right. So smart. You're so above everybody, but your voice cannot be heard.
The conversation.
What do you left them, man? Then
let them learn.
Definitely name up themselves. We know when they name up themselves.
People them distract on one or talk about some of the
guys, the platform is open for conversation. If you come in and you believe we're saying something wrong, if you believe we're misleading, or if you have a different point of view, join the conversation.
Exactly. Don't just come and make a claim. Oh, JLP and PNP is the same. Come on up and let's talk about it.
And let's talk about it.
Come on.
It is simple.
And let's have a conversation. Because here's one thing. Here we're not gonna try to do. When the shit splash pound on the look company, I say, and I'm alone depend them too. No.
Dennis Garden Travi has shown scant disregard for the rule of law in this country.
Absolutely.
He has abused his position blatantly.
So good Chuck, I want to read
this man should not be even getting the taxpayers' money and the part of being a member of parliament. He should resign from being a member of parliament.
Let me read this ending
part. It's not the first time.
Dalrymple Philibert, right? She Integrity Commission investigate and blah blah blah. She did the most honorable thing. She removed herself as House Speaker and she stepped down as member of parliament and allowed that seat to become vacant. When her case was rectified, right, she went back to the people and the people re-elected her. That is where you find people with integrity. So hey, step away from all aspects that can interfere with an investigation and let investigation take its course. And
so did Clyde Green step aside.
Edward Warmington, when he was making that comment with his own money, when he say your my money now use make nobody over yourself. If he can win.
George Wright step aside.
Yes. Right? All of them people that step aside. Mark Golding built a campaign for 5 years on perception of corruption. And now true corruption is at his door. A matter of fact, corruption has entered his house, sitting on his couch, oftentimes spending time in his bed with Mark Golding lying on the other side of the bed. Corruption. And he fails to look at the other side of his bed. Right? But he speaks about perception of corruption. In his message to the Jamaican people, 2026, he said, the opposition will champion transparency and accountability. And now when it's time for him to be transparent, when it's time for accountability to take place, Mark Golding is hiding in his tile in his bedroom. Him find the smallest hole in a tile in a bedroom and him gonna hide from the people of Jamaica. Mark Golding is a hypocrite. And he's a proven one. And a proven liar too.
Okay, so let me read just the ending of this section and I go to the next one. It says, the same taxpayers now pay again, I'm repeating that part, a high cost for the access to that very equipment. But it says, this creates a disturbing cycle. This creates a disturbing cycle. The public lost tax revenue. The public hospital lost critical equipment. The private entity gains operational advantage, like what Travis was saying. Patients pay out of pocket for survival. Wickedness at its best. That's not in there, that's my word. And I'm simply saying, you have robbed and taken from the Jamaican people. If it's even 2 million that was tax exempt that you didn't have to pay, you have taken from the Jamaican people. You have literally scammed the Jamaican taxpayers. Not all of them, because not all of them pay tax. Some of them PNP didn't pay tax, but that's the next story. I'm just simply saying, it is distasteful. How long has this been going on? That is my major concern, you know. We want to know how long these people have been using our system to get rich from our system. How long have they been scamming the Jamaican, the poor people, the vulnerable people? How long have they been taking from us to enrich themselves?
Guys, make it 2 minutes out of time, please.
The procurement officer say, listen, the evidence destroyed, Yeah, they wet up. 3 times you have put the documents in the same location for them get wet. 3 times.
But Travis, if they're wet and winner, they still there, they're only wet.
No, they destroyed and gone.
So how did they get wet and get destroyed? They washed out the room?
You can't tell me so they put them. All right, the first time is an accident. The second time is negligence. The third time, that is blatant. When we say blatant skullduggery of the Jamaican people. Jesus. You put it there, we get destroyed. Jesus. Go ahead, Chuck.
You see, like we said, this is a continued disregard for the rule of law by Dennis Garden. It is blatant right across. The construction of the very building, as I said before, is in question. It's an illegal building that he built without a single permit being sought, not being given him, being sought, which means he never applied for it. Because he sits on the very committee that grant these permits.
He chairs it. He's the main man.
Chairs it. Secondly, that gives him an operational advantage. The tax exempt status gives him an operational advantage. And even while receiving this advantage over his competitors, his prices are still among the highest in the island. Even though he's getting a competitive advantage when he's exempting himself from taxes and fees, he is not even trying to pass on to the Jamaican people. And this man should sit in our parliament and collect his handsome salary that he's now getting? No, Dennis Garden needs to step aside. Welcome, my good friend.
He should have resigned from Tuesday night. We should not get Thursday.
If you come in and you're not following Chuck, just look up and press the follow button right over the head there, please. And join the community.
You can also follow One Angel, guys. It's not just Chuck up here. We have Travi, we have Winner, and we have Joshua. It's not just Chuck. You can follow all the persons on the panel. Okay, appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. And you ready for me to read again?
Yes, continue.
How am I today?
This is about lives and not just lives.
Okay, survival. Yeah.
Greetings, Angel. Before you start to read, just answer me and let me hear your beautiful voice. So at least my heart can go back to where it was. Good evening, beautiful.
Hi,
I almost pressed the wrong button and disconnect Joshua a while ago. Almost did.
Hi, Joshua, darling.
How are you, sweetie?
I'm wonderful.
Never about bad mind labor, right?
Yes.
Never know at all.
Chuck is the biggest one. Yes.
I said it was accidental.
Okay.
All right. Greetings, everyone. Greetings.
And tap up the screen, guys. Tap up the screen while we're here. Tap up the screen. Follow Chuck. Follow everybody on the platform. And if you have I'm still looking for a lion and a tiger and a bear. Any one of them you have. Angel sent me a lion recently, but it escaped. I have not caught it.
The bear is easier to catch, All you have to do is get a red stripe or a Heineken.
Sorry. All right. So continue. It says this is. Did I read that already?
No, that's where you started.
Okay. This is about lives, not just losses. Dialysis is not optional care, and I can tell you guys, as a first responder, I be going to the dialysis center all the time. And it is not. While you can miss one, you cannot miss 2 or 3. So it is not something that the patient can say, oh, I don't have to do it. It's not optional. It's life and death. It is. Okay? it is life-sustaining treatment, 100% life-sustaining treatment. When access is limited, patient deteriorate rapidly. I can contest, I am 100%. I'm so glad I'm reading this part of it, because I see it. If you don't get that fluid removed out of you, it is a problem. And not only that, it is most dialysis patient, guys, is 3 times per week. And when they remove the fluid off of you, it's per your weight, what you came in with, and you have a limit of fluid that you take into your body also for the week. It is something that these patients have to deal with. They have to know how much they're consuming. They have to know what liquid they're putting in it. It is a life-sustainable treatment. All right, in and out. So this right here is a big deal. It's actually factual. Let me finish, Joshua. It says.
No, I'm just backing you up, Angel, with what you just said.
Okay.
I have a cousin that passed year before last, November. She was on dialysis treatment. I couldn't get to go to the funeral due to matters beyond my control. But one of the challenges is really, of not being able to get as often. It's not the unavailability of machines. The machines were there. The minister supplied all that was needed and the requisite personnel. However, the people at the customer service sometimes cause her to wait unduly long. And sometimes she just get fed up and leave. After 6-7 hours, she just leave and go back home. Right. So, I can concur that what you are saying is true.
Okay. So, all right, let's start over. This is about life, not just losses. Dialysis is not optional care. It is life-sustaining treatment. When access is limited, patient deteriorate rapidly. Family, who's that? Mute Joshua. Families face financial ruin. Lives are lost unnecessary. So the question becomes, how many patients could have been treated if those machines were at UHWI? How many families are currently paying thousands because those machines are not in the public system? Question. That's the question for you guys.
Yes, and we'll never know the answer to that. Sadly, we will never know.
All right, so without saying too much, the machines actually belong to Dennis Gordon. It's just that he defrauded the system to get these machines in. What they have been doing, and Mr. Uriel Senior, one of our bloggers here who is on dialysis, when I told him that the machines were there, he said he gave a testimony because he was thinking that the machines were not there, and I told him where the machines were. And when he went up there was somebody who was telling him that we didn't have enough machines in the hospital and was diverting him to Dennis Gordon Place on Lyndhurst Road. This is what they are doing in the system, right? These are what the corrupt people who are linked to Dennis Gordon, who get a cut out of it, more than likely, are doing, diverting the people and telling them that the machines are not there, and adequate machines are in the hospitals. It's just that they, because there's benefit to be derived, this is what they are doing, So, that's my contribution to that part.
Okay, so,
Angel, I would have to disagree with you there, Joshua. There is never enough dialysis machines available in any public health system. Never enough. Even I'm a health worker. Even where I work, every single time somebody dies, there's another person that is taken from the private sector that comes into the public sector. There's just never enough because of the nature of kidney disease and the numerous health challenges that can cause one to need dialysis So, and what that does though, Joshua, it tells the people or frustrates the people to believe that the government, whether Jamaica or any other country, is not doing enough.
Guys, stop up the screen. I think I just give more restriction to something I have no idea about.
Guys, stop up the screen. Send me a train.
Maybe it's a comment. Maybe it's a comment. I don't know.
So winner. Hold on, Chuck. So winner. I agree with winner.
Yeah.
Joshua, I'm gonna tell you why. Guys, stop up the screen. And I like gifts too, I like gifts. So let me tell you why I agree with winner. A dialysis center can only schedule but so many patients per day. Joshua, mute for me. We can hear the running water and sound like that's something deep and all kind of something. A dialysis center, even if they have 20 machines or 10 machines, can only schedule but so many patients a day, because the treatment can run from between 3 hours to 5 and 6 hours. A nocturnal treatment is a softer treatment that the patient will get, and that is a 6-hour treatment. Most places don't give nocturnal treatment. It's just basic. And the basic one is 3 hours, sometimes 3.5 to 4. So if you were to calculate these patients coming in, most of the time, even though it's a 3.5 hour or 4 hour treatment, what happens is if the patient holds their hand up or move too much, the machine makes noise, it delays, and they have to push, and it can delay up to a couple of minutes, 10 to 20 to 30 minutes. So what could be 3 hours could end up being 3.5. What could be 3.5 could end up being 4.5 hour treatment. So if you were to calculate in a 12-hour shift, say for instance, they open 10 hours a day, how many patients you think they could see in a 10-hour day, work day for these facilities at the hospital, or 12-hour shift work day? It is not that many. And so like what Winner is saying, it can never be enough. The machines could never be enough, because as one patient moves, a next patient is there to put in that place. And so
So I agree with you from that perspective, but as I said, I can't say too much, Angel. But what I will say to you is that UA has 2 sections that has dialysis machines there. 100%. They have, and I'm going to use this term loosely, which is kind of contradictory of what I just agreed to. They have enough in light of the situation.
So they have an in-house and they have an outpatient. They have an in-house and an outpatient.
Right. They have
in-house for the people who are in the hospital, and outpatient for the people who come in.
Right. So they have a unit, and they have the section right on the ward that allows them.
Angel, I think the flag came when you tell the people and they send you lion, tiger, and bear.
Me, I never said that. You said that.
Well, we're going to send you the message where they sent me.
Yeah, but you said that. I said I like all kind of gifts, but that's the part that the flag. Wait, it's not like on me.
That's the part that the flag.
Okay, I apologize.
All right. So the rest I'll tell you off the year, Angel. I can't and Winner. The rest I'll tell you off the year.
All right, let me conclude.
You can't tell Winner of the year. Leave Angel out of the half the year talk.
Let me finish this. Let me conclude. Okay, how many patients have been treated? It was, I think I reached there already. That part. The demand.
You're at the demand.
Okay, demand. The demand. We are calling for immediate and decisive action. All dialysis machine imported under UHWI's tax exemption must be transferred to UHWI without delay. A full public accounting of where these machines are located and who is using them. Immediate intervention by the Ministry of Health to prioritize patient access to these resources. Final word. This situation cannot be normalized. It is unacceptable that the public resources are used, private benefit is derail, and the public derive, and the public must then pay to access what should be. Oh my God, hold on, guys, because the screen is white. And the public must then pay to access what should
be theirs.
Have been theirs. Okay. Healthcare cannot operate on this model. I don't have my glasses in the car. Healthcare cannot operate on this model.
Listen, don't invite nobody to go and read when
lives cannot depend on the kind of system fail. Lives cannot depend on this kind of system failure. The people of Jamaica deserve better. The patients deserve better. Act now. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
That is it.
Acting cute. Just want to be cute. Yeah?
Just want to be cute while blind.
And you know why I'm gonna wear contact? Because I don't like to touch my eyes. That's why I'm gonna wear contact lenses. You know?
Yes, want to be cute while blind.
Yeah, then I help you now wear contacts, you know. See you.
I know. Like, sorry.
So that is the position where we are in now, right? Where people feel comfortable using the taxpayers. Sorry, the word that slipped me. At will, while at the same time, because remember, you know, one of the things we're come out, you know, is that these same companies, you know, that use the tax exemption. For example, the one that bought the garbage bins, that you buy some garbage bins for $3 million, $3.5 million thereabout. You had a tax exemption of $3 million, which means you saved $3 million right there, so. And you were able to still sell back the very same university hospital for $11.5 million. Which means you did not even take into consideration the $3 million you saved. So you spend $3 million, you make $8 million profit.
Wow.
And adding the other $3 million where you save now, you've made $11 million on your $3 million this year, you know?
Wow.
And this is just one of the incidents that were caught. How many has gone through before that? How many transactions like these? How many machines, other than dialysis machine, that were purchased by Jacden went through this process? How many? Everything, as Travis said, every single piece of equipment.
Remember, there's furniture on this list here. No? There's furniture.
There's furniture on the list.
I'm
talking about the medical equipment now.
Go ahead.
I'm just talking about the medical equipment on the list now.
Yeah.
Every single piece of equipment that is at, I think it's 14 Lindos Road, needs to be
18 and a quarter.
Yes, 18 and a quarter Lindos Road needs to be audited and their acquisition be checked to see how they were brought into the island.
Sure.
Because this is not a $10 million breach as Dennis Garden pay back. I believe there's way more than that. Every piece of equipment down there was brought in illegally, and the taxpayers need to be reimbursed for that, and the company needs to be so fined that it is a deterrent from anybody else taking this action again.
I agree. They have to be Chuck, I so agree with that. A huge fine. Huge fine.
What is the name?
Chucky.
What? Yeah.
This is bigger than just Jacden, you know. Let me tell you why I say that. I did a little research on one of the companies. And lo and behold, I found something. In fact, I did a research on all 4 companies. Lo and behold, the laundry service is owned by a Jew, a Jewish man. And you know Mark Golding's background. ethnic background of what he says he is. Right? And just like how...
No, Joshua, the laundry company is owned by a man named Manley.
No, that's not the laundry company. It's another company.
Which of the companies owned by a man named Manley?
Sean Manley. Sean Manley owns the laundry company.
He owned the laundry company.
Right, but then there's another company that is owned by a Jewish man.
There's only one family in Jamaica I know named Manley. I have never been lucky to work up another Manley family in Jamaica.
Right. And in addition to that, now the other company is owned by a Jewish man, Goldberg. Right? Which is very interesting. And in addition to that, now one
Joshua,
of the
Joshua,
yes, sir.
Here me issue with those other company now. I believe they are to be tracked down and fined. The issue with Jacden is that Dennis Gardner is an elected member of parliament, a lawmaker.
No. Yeah, but
a lawmaker that preside over our parliament, that preside over making rules for the rest of us to live by. Dennis Gardner is a lawmaker that set rules for the rest of us to live by.
And I agree with you 100%, Chuck. But here is my general concern, which is the same as yours, but extend a little further. Why is it that so many PNP, either connected people with PNP lineage, family in the PNP politics, or people who are of the same stated ethnic descendants as Mark Golding? We see a pattern here, the same pattern that we have seen before. And one thing...
let me answer Omaro. Why I say fine? Why I use the word fine, Omaro, is that it's the company. The company. Jacden.
Yeah, he said
is
the company. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dennis Garden is the principal.
Yes.
Okay. So
no, so
we
Chuck,
can't.
My question is.
Hold on. Let me finish answer Omaro's question.
Criminal charges must be laid against him, yes, because they have done what is called tax evasion. That's not tax avoidance. That's right. Tax evasion, and that's criminal.
So when it comes now to Dennis Gardner himself, the Integrity Commission will have to look again at his statutory declaration and see that he has been what the term, Chavi, what the term with the PNP them use again?
Illicit enrichment.
Illicit enrichment. Here you go. That is the term I was trying to remember.
Their favorite term, illicit enrichment.
So then now we have to look at Dennis Gardner's statutory declaration and realize that this man has been illicitly enriching himself.
Name them, Andrew, hold on, name them, Marky G, name them. We know you know who.
I let the public announcement.
That's what he had said, pertaining to the Prime Minister.
I let the public announcement, sure. Tika, wherever you are, I know you're busy, my darling. I miss you. Mwah. Kiss my nephew for me. Mwah. Okay.
So, Angela, you're kissing off a woman, but you never kiss her for me.
And my nephew, I kiss my nephew.
I'm your biggest nephew. I'm your biggest nephew. I never get no kiss.
That's your time. Let me hear your question now. Because as we say,
the news come say he paid $10 million to the hospital. I want to know what is the line item? Like, is it?
No, the $10 million that he paid is what the breach of the dialysis machine.
No. Loot refund. What is written on the? Because what is it?
That's what you mean.
Loot refund. Taxes brought forward.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Evasion. What is the line item?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess we'll have to ask somebody to investigate that one.
I'm gonna have a talk with him.
I will have to get that. That's an important question, Chavi. That not asked there, What is put on the receipt that says you're paying for? What are you paying for?
Yeah, what are you paying for?
But Chuck, you were onto something which I don't think you had ended. And I'd like you to end it because I want to piggyback on it. When you spoke about illicit enrichment, you know, so
yes, I'm saying that the Integrity Commission will have to look now, because over many years, and as I said before, this transaction with the dialysis machine is the one that was caught. It is not the first time it was done, because based on the documents that were signed, one of them was signed by somebody that separated from the hospital 2 years before. So this has been a practice over many years, right? So Dennis Gordon has been illicitly enriching himself from the taxpayers, and the Integrity Commission now needs to take up this one and look further into it. That's right.
Yeah, and you're correct. And as I like to call this, is a web of, or an axis of corruption on the part of the PNP. We need to also find out what is the role of Dr. Dawes, in spite of the fact that he has claimed innocence and ignorance regarding the matter. What was his role? Because if you're a consultant to a particular agency and they say they're going to purchase something, as a consultant, you would have been part of a greater meeting to find out sourcing, right? And all of these things and the prices that these things, because remember, he's the professional, the health professional on that board, right? And he would have known the cost of these machines in advance. Just like how he ran out falsely declaring that the drill was overpriced. I would hate to think that he conveniently turned a blind eye. But then again, it's a PNP. I don't put anything past them. You know, in addition to that, Chuck, there are so many charges that can be laid outside of the Integrity Commission, MOCA, because tax evasion is one of them, you know, and all of these things that can be laid against him by MOCA separate from the Integrity Commission. And I think fraud, right. And I also think that Mark Golding has a case to answer to Jamaica, in addition to Dennis Gordon, because Mark Golding ran on the ticket of integrity. People like Perry in PNP ran out and said, this is the integrity boss. Right? My church brother Perry in PNP, right, ran out and said, this is the integrity boss.
I have not seen Perry in a while, and I would love to know what I'm doing. Anybody know if Perry is okay?
That's how PNP are, you know, they're conveniently outrage, you know. They practice convenient outrage. So matters like these,
so Joshua, hold on there, Joshua. Yes. You mentioned that because this is something I had was to say to Mr. Ingram earlier this evening, you know, because you mentioned that Dr. Dawes was a consultant, right? But I beg to differ, because I think it's a little bit more than that, because according to the Jacden website, he was presented as one of the founders. He was right there when they, and this is not my word or anybody's doing. Jacden, through the company's website, introduced 6 people as their founders, and Mr. Dawes is one of those persons.
All right. So we can't go beyond documentation, and the documentation said he's one of the founders. Now that even implicates him even more. What does he know? Because just like how he wasn't in charge of the purchase of the drill for Bustamante, and he's not attached to Bustamante, but he was willing to bring this up when it was convenient. He is now attached to UWI. In addition to UWI, he's also attached to a company that defrauded taxpayers of tax in more ways than one, plus overpriced, charge us higher price than we should be for items when it could have been sourced cheaper, because this was one of the platforms that Dr. Dawes run out on. You know, the drill could have been sourced cheaper. And why is it that these machines, why is it that these things that were sold to UWI by Jacden were not sourced cheaper elsewhere? And when I was listening to the PAC, one other thing that I found very interesting is that one of the PNP member when the person from UA was explaining to them that they have an in-house procurement committee and they have a ceiling, and then after that, then it goes further, and then it goes to regional, and then after regional, then it goes to ministry, and then after ministry, then it goes to the minister. But not all of these things will get to the minister, and this is one of those cases where it won't necessarily have gotten to the minister. I heard one of the PNP members of the PAC trying to pin it onto the minister and trying to excuse their colleague.
2 members of the PNP, Joshua, that sits on the PAC, spend the entire sitting trying to find a link between what happened and the Ministry of Health, and by extension the Minister of Health. That's what they did the entire day. It got so blatant that Lieutenant Cousins was reading the notes of the Auditor General and saying it was from the Ministry of Health. The Auditor General to say, no, those are my notes you're reading there. Because that is the agenda, and that is the agenda of their bloggers on here, and you hear it out of the mouth of the National Integrity Action. Okay? It is coordinated for them to try to find a way to tie to the ministry, because guess what? For them, the PNP can do no wrong.
Chuck. But Chuck, even when it reaches the ministry, if it's not of a certain nature, it doesn't get to the minister yet. Chuck. And the gentleman who gave the testimony was very clear about that.
Chuck, that's why at the onset of this whole thing, you heard Dr. Dawes himself stating that the buck stopped with the minister. And right after that, every single PNP blogger, social commentator, everybody on social media was saying the buck stopped with the minister. Because that was their intention. Their party member and chairman, region chairman, and PAC member was heavily implicated, but they needed to shift the blame.
Yeah, just a break. Let me read something here, because we have to expose this development as they happen. It says disadvantaged and displaced residents in St. Thomas now have access to safe overnight accommodations following the opening of a night shelter located in St. Thomas, Drop-In Center and Church Street in Morant. The facility was officially opened by the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, on Friday, the 27th.
What date and which what date and which party did it?
Desmond McKenzie, Friday, March the 27th.
2026, don't forget that.
2026.
Right. Under whose prime ministerialship?
Angel.
Oh,
yes. Andrew Michael Wallace. Right. Yes. But the thing, as I say, it's a systemic thing with these people, you know. It's a systemic thing. And I am glad that the ministry is taking the actions that the ministry is supposed to take. Dr. Tufton has removed the board, put in a new board, put in a new chairman, and the chairman and the minister has set a committee to specially investigate these breaches to see how far, how deep, how wide, and how long it has been going on. And the finding of this committee.
So Chuck, let me ask you one quick question real quick before Joshua come in. What happened? You block your comrade them from the line?
And then you.
You block your comrade them?
I just talk about Comrade Diego Papi.
So where Mr. Ingram then?
I don't see them, you know.
Where's Hugh Richards?
I don't see them anywhere. So Diego, yeah. Diego, and
Diego, if you got a minute, please.
Hugh Richards
Hugh Richards will be bright enough to come up in the box, even during this time. You know Hugh Richards different. He
was on last night. He said, was it last night, Chuck?
Yes.
Yesterday he was on. He wanted not to have politics involved in this.
Oh, okay.
He was an advocate for. He was advocating for what needs to be changed about the system.
The defense of politicians.
Yes, so he stated.
Isn't it very convenient, MP Chuck and 1 Star?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because
but my sister Sheikah took him on and dissected him and handled that, you know.
You know, I find, you know, PNP practices, you know, last night I found something very interesting that Baller asked Excellence last night, why is it that they are running away from this argument? And Excellence them now run away from it, right? And when both of them almost went at it, and then Baller say, is that the people themselves say we are run from it? I'm going to show them some run from it. And Excellence reply to him was, so yeah, make people press your button. And I'm just paraphrasing, right? Because the truth is, no PNP truly wants to discuss anything that implicates them, right? PNP have selective morality, you know. You know, I found it very, what's her name? Michaela name?
Jackson.
Michael Jackson. That said that the Prime Minister, when accused without proof, should have stepped down. And she's now not advocating for, not the leader of the party, you know, a member of parliament, not even advocating for him to step away. And Tyrone said it very well today. He said, where is civil society? Cliff Hughes said it yesterday that we came under tremendous pressure, right? And they practice intimidation, which is true. And that is why PNP does not like Nationwide, because it's the only radio station that they cannot manipulate, and anything they can manipulate, they don't like.
True.
Where is Mark Golding at this time, the man who trumpeted integrity when it was convenient, even though he was telling a lie? Where is he? He said if any one of his party members' name is even mentioned, he never said proven enough. He said even mentioned, they wouldn't have a place in the party. Mark Golding, where are you at this time?
Package in the garden, hiding.
You notice me have up the missing people them right here, so I'm missing people and me have up here, so you know.
We need to call the police and have them reported.
Report these people missing. These people need to be reported missing. Anybody hear anything from the drunk lady? Anybody hear anything from the drunk lady?
I haven't heard from the drunk lady either. It is not normal not to hear from these people in time like this. There must be something.
So what
wrong.
happened to Madam? What happened to Madam Sourface? Anybody hear anything from her?
I haven't heard from her either.
Who's that?
We need to.
You don't know who Madam
to have a
Sourface?
wellness check. They and Jackson Miller.
Oh.
Chuck said it, not me.
Any press conference keep today, or any press release, or can we expect that for tomorrow?
Just like all the money missing, the donation money missing.
Tomorrow holiday,
you know, is the only party I've ever seen in opposition. The only time an opposition party has ever been in opposition in the history of Jamaica, and is racking up more corruption than the ruling party, and the ruling party not racking up any. So I don't know how the opposition racking up corruption. This cannot make sense. You have an opposition party that is behaving like they are in governance. Because them leader going like I am around the country and they are racking up more corruption than anything else.
You see, it's about the PNP over the years has not been held accountable for their actions. The PNP presided over what I can only describe, and I will quote a senior member, over the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since the abolition of slavery. And they as a party has not been held accountable for it. People who were victims of that are today standing up and defending them. so they're not held accountable. Members upon members have been caught. Ronnie Tweet, a clergyman, was caught lodging. Ronnie Tweet was caught lodging.
He got fired.
Postal service checks in his personal account. Has not been held accountable for it. And it go on and on.
So when we say PNP is a criminal organization, you must
O'Neill Smith sent a request.
Disability for this life cannot be restored.
Hi Sheikah, what's up? Hey mama, how is everybody? Especially the boss for every boss. Dan for every Dan.
You done a look woman already, me not him.
Well, listen, if him a look woman already, that mean me who him. That's the type of development that I should pay for.
Travis, he don't like this type of hair, him like the Italian lady here. So yeah, make him go on.
Nothing wrong with having a little difference in taste and flavor. Variety is the spice of life. He does test out everything right now. At his age, he must try out all new things. Basically.
Okay. All right.
Well, Mark, I would love to see. Giving Mark Golden the benefit of the doubt. I believe Mark Golden has sent a letter for a press conference, but he has not gotten any response from the media house yet, so he don't want to announce it.
So what do you mean he sent a letter? What do you mean?
Yes. They normally send out a release that they're inviting media house to a press briefing. I believe that the media houses have not responded to him yet, and that's why he hasn't announced it yet.
You have just given the PNP some talking points.
Exactly.
Well,
because
they them talking, you know. Yeah, man. Mark Golden said no.
Without Chuck saying that them are gonna always have some crazy excuse.
But and also news conference keep, you know.
That's why I'm like, what?
And also news conference.
You come out and we'll show up.
All right, there you go. It's like a game, madam. You know, once you put out the table,
right?
Players right.
Okay.
But I, for one, I think this matter. Well, let me hear.
Dealing with the deepening scandal concerning the unlawful use of the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status, which has engulfed Gordon. It has been known.
Not hearing you, Chuck. Not hearing you. Chuck.
It wasn't coming through clearly just now.
Chucky!
Are you not hearing us?
No.
Chuck.
Nobody not hearing me?
No.
It's muffled. We're not hearing properly.
Let me go again.
In January of this year, and was evasive when questioned. The UHW PNP President Mark Golden's prolonged inaction in dealing with the deepening scandal concerning the unlawful use of the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status, which has engulfed a company owned by the PNP's Region 3 chairman, Dennis Gordon, is totally unacceptable. It has been known in the public domain for several months and again reconfirmed during a meeting this past Tuesday of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the PAC, that Jacden Limited repeatedly benefited from what the Auditor General confirmed to be the unlawful use of the UHWI's tax exemption status. Yet Golding appeared at a media conference in January of this year and was evasive when questions about the matter were put to him. He has since been silent on the grave mishandling of taxpayers' money from which a company owned by his senior PNP member repeatedly benefited. This is the same Mark Golding who, on the campaign trail, claimed to be zero tolerant in relation to such acts. Golding has absolutely no credibility. Even if he takes belated action at this point, his prolonged inaction confirms to the Jamaican people that he cannot be trusted, and he cannot be trusted to treat with the matters of accountability, transparency, and probity in any serious manner. Furthermore, the implicit suggestion by PAC chairman, the PNP's Julian Robinson, that all is well, given that Jacden has made restitution by supposedly paying to the University Hospital of the West Indies the approximately $10 million, it also a slap in the face of all Jamaicans. Julian Robinson is only insulting the intelligence of the Jamaican people and making an already bad situation worse. He is invariably intimating that Dennis Gordon's company's belated payment of the approximately $10 million it would have benefited from somehow makes amends for the unlawful and inappropriate use of the UHWI's tax exemption status, as reported by the Auditor General. Robinson's line of argument is unacceptable and only makes him appear as a tone-deaf and bare-faced Dennis Gordon apologist. Quite frankly, Julian Robinson is only compromising himself as chairman of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee and is eroding public trust in his chairmanship of a committee which, in the weeks ahead, will continue to deliberate on the scandalous UHWI Auditor General report, which is rocking Dennis Gordon's company, Jacden Limited, Mark Golding, and the opposition PNP.
Strongly worded comments from Marlon Morgan there, and I agree. Well, you see, the thing is, Sharon, is that the media and civil society are who normally makes the charge and declaration and the calls in these cases. But Gleaner is silent, RJR is silent, CVM is silent, and that is why Mark Golding could go on the stage the last time and say, people is taking the word of a single media entity. That was his word, they are taking the word of a single entity. Because the rest of the media
also said that no credible source has reported on the matter.
Exactly, which means he's declaring that the media hosts that have the balls to report it is not credible.
Chuck, I have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Is this the first time in our history that we have seen a political party has gone astray and and the media reported on it and the media was attacked? Is this the first time?
I remember a certain party leader that led a demonstration to have a certain media house shut down. I remember a party, I don't remember the name of that party leader. But a demonstration was led by that party leader to have that organization shuttered. And when he did not achieve his task and that mission, he promised them, I will be back. Luckily,
which party was that, sir? Can you recall which party that was?
I don't understand that. You're telling the story.
I think it was the People's National Party. And if I'm not mistaken, the name of the man was Michael Joshua Manley.
Oh.
No, you can't take out the J. You can't take out the J name. You can't take out
Michael
the J name.
Manley.
And this happened during the 70s when he was Prime Minister, right?
When he was Prime Minister. The Prime Minister at the day marched to have a media house locked down.
Because they were not being favorable to the atrocities that he was carrying on, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if
I want to ask a question.
You mean like how they sued a certain party leader sued a certain media house?
Same so.
So I see some bright people up here, some people that think. I want to ask a question. Yeah? If the PNP had won the general election, What you think would be the outcome of what is happening now?
We would not hear anything about it. All
no
this
one would
be
have
swept
known
under the carpet.
Mr. Uriel there. And you remember
you know
the
why
time.
I asked that? You know why I asked that question? You know why I asked that question, Chuck? Chuck, you know why I asked that question?
No, man, listen.
I asked that question. I asked that question to say this. If that was something that could be done, what is this government doing to prevent, if this government is not in power, that doesn't happen in the future by saving Jamaica people? What is there that they are going to do to prevent those type of things from happening?
That is an excellent question, Omar, and I will say this to you, sir. Firstly, this government is making our investigative bodies independent. Some of the time, we have some labor right to complain, but as you say, we have to think about when we are not here, right? One of the first steps is by making our investigative body independent, right? And I believe that when that comes through, that's gonna go a long way to make sure that these things are not covered up based on who is in power. But the only problem we'll face with that now is that we saw what happened when I once revere. Who will give me back on feedback? We saw what happened when I once, what would I call, revered judge was appointed to a position, and he still find a way to make that position political. So it's gonna be difficult, Omalo, no matter what we put in place, to find the correct persons that we can trust to be a Jamaican first, to look out for the interests of the country first. That's gonna be the difficulty, to find non-partisan people to staff these agencies, right?
All right, let me follow up with that. Let me follow up with that, Chuck. Do you think the laws that the government is implementing to fight murders and criminal activity in Jamaica is playing a very strong role in bringing down what is going on?
Yes.
It is contributing to the success, right?
Yes.
Not just that, Omala, but the continued upgrade of our investigative powers, or bank of knowledge, by having, certain individuals going overseas to learn new ways, going to workshop, going to these different training seminars about investigating, whether it be financial fraud or means and modes of investigating. When we expand that, in a simpler term, expanding the capabilities of our investigative bodies is one of the way that we will use to fix, the system for the future. Because when you have better practitioners in the field, you will gain better results.
Another public service announcement, guys. Manchester's most wanted has chosen to meet his maker rather than the judge. Manchester's most wanted has chosen the maker over the judge.
Chuck, one of the most important things is to craft legislation to deal with the issues that is out there, that the old legislations are not addressing. And that is one of the things the government is doing in bringing legislation to Parliament to deal with these criminal activities and the murders and stuff. And we are getting good results from it. I think the same way how we address, just a second, Chuck, I think the same way we address those issues of criminality amongst the broader society of people, we must bring legislation to address corruption in our government and business people taking away money from the taxpayers of Jamaica that's supposed to give them the services that they need, that sometimes depriving them of these services leads them to criminal activity, and then we turn around and punish them.
Omalo, the Integrity Commission is being funded to the tune of $2 billion for the year. $2 billion. That is one body that is charged with investigating these things.
Funding alone cannot do it, Chuck. Chuck, funding alone cannot do it. Legislation, laws. You can't give me $20 billion to do nothing.
Every law that we need, well, not every law. Jamaica has enough laws on the books. When it comes to financial crime, when it comes to corruption, we have laws on the books, Omalo.
I guarantee you,
Omalo,
if this was Singapore, the whole of them got to prison.
Hold on, Omalo, hold on. But even in Singapore, investigation would be allowed to take its course. It's probably that Singapore's investigation is faster than ours. But the only way the contractor general, the auditor general was able, and I'm using Sheikah's word now, the contractor general was able to identify these breaches because the laws are in place.
General.
The auditor general, sorry. If there was no laws in place, the auditor general could not have identified any breach. So the laws, the rules are in place. What happened now is that these matters are now turned over to the FID, tax administration, and these entities need to now investigate and do it swiftly, and then let the law take its course because the laws are there. Jamaica, we are not short of laws in Jamaica.
Look, we have seen, we are from 2018, Noel Reid and him friend, we work over Maritime. Yeah? They are in the court. This is 2025 or 2026. When Jamaica people look at these things, is this the country we are idolized, say we really want? This is where we are going to fight corruption in Jamaica for the people in Jamaica. Sister, we are at a stage where there is no tolerance amongst the elites. There is no tolerance amongst the...
That is the efficiency issue, though. That's an efficiency issue, though.
Again, Omar, it has nothing to do with bringing laws to the parliament. The laws are already there. It is by breaching the law.
Laws can make the court work in an efficient way. When it comes onto these criminal matter, we must put a speedy trial and speedy movement of corruption. It is in the interest of Jamaican people to see these things done and get done.
Hold on,
This is why the Prime Minister has appointed Audrey Marks to make the systems more efficient. Because the Prime Minister has realized that there is something is wrong with how the system works. Okay.
Here's my submission. I beg your chance, Joshua. Here's my submission based on what Amalo is saying. And the case he referenced. The cases like those should be given priority. And once the trial starts, we don't need no lengthy delay. Anytime with someone who say this is a court date, for the next 7 days, we are go through this issue and come to a finality. This years and years of going through and case put off for one of 6 months and he put off for one of adjourned for one of 8 months. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. These matters should be given priority and should be done away with within a 7 or 6 month period.
Lot of what we face is a cultural issue. And what I mean by that, because when we have a lawyer is able to request of a judge that boy they are unable to make it for different reasons, and the judge yield to them, that is largely cultural, and it's because a lot of these lawyers went to the same law school, so they are friends, right? It is not about in the course of justice, right? It is about facilitating my friends. It's not necessarily corrupt, but it makes the system inefficient, as was mentioned earlier. I think one of the things that Omalo omitted, and Omalo, I'm on your side for most of the way, not necessarily all the way, but one of the things that, but in as much as I'm on your side for most of the way, I think you have jumped over. You mentioned about charged, well, not necessarily charged, but accused versus the court. The accused, before it can go to court, there has to be proper investigation. So you have missed out that middle part, right? Which is critical for it to reaching the court, right? And I see connecting in the box, which can add even more to that. But where I agree with you.
Just a minute, connecting.
One moment, my brother. One moment. Let me just land with this. Where I agree with you is where I think there should be laws created just for political representatives, for public representatives, the permanent secretaries, the politicians. You know, they should have laws specifically designed for them, and police officers who run afoul of the law. Once you're a public figure, there should be special laws in place for you to say, hey, if this happened, embezzlement of funds, conspiracy to defraud, you know, which this Dennis Gordon could easily well be charged in such a situation. Dawes could be implicated also. Dennis Mitchell could also be implicated. But something like that, conspiracy to defraud, even the fact that when I was reading through even what was charged by two of the four entities, they charged the exact figure, 6.9 million, right? How both entities charge the exact figure for a particular thing? There has to be collusion. So things like these should be enshrined in law. And there should be a minimum sentence, like a 30, 40-year sentence, right? And it's not that you're wicked. You want to send a strong message that there's zero tolerance.
Let me say this, Joshua. Joshua, you have your bicycle over your house, right? You have your bicycle over your house. You report your bicycle, traffic come, you report your bicycle to Travis, your bicycle stolen. Travis look around the house, Travis not see the bicycle. Anyway, Travis see one of my shoes because Travis know my shoes and say, no, Omalo the over here. Me say for Omalo take the bicycle. Omalo him call Omalo and Omalo say, all right, me don't know about the bicycle, but anyway, in the evening, Omalo carry the bicycle back, go get Travis, go get Joshua. Joshua, no admit the bicycle.
Not necessarily, but I get where you're going with that conversation. Because I could have seen someone with it.
All right, let me understand the not necessary.
I could, because I know your bicycle, I could have seen someone with it and return it. Whilst I understand the purpose of the analogy, it is not as accurate as you intended.
You found my shoes in your yard. You find my shoes in your yard. Yeah? Me tied to it, just like his company tied to whatever. He's now paying back money, yeah, that was reportedly not paid to the government. Isn't he admitting that he had done something wrong?
Not just something, sir. Why was his address on the invoice?
Isn't that he admitting that he had done something?
Yes, Omalo, by repaying the money. It's an admittance of guilt. I did something wrong. Yes.
Where we trying to charge him? The Easter holiday when a judge not there in a court and them thing that him children are sit down in a jail over the weekend holiday right now, like anybody else.
When we stop revering some of our public officials, such as politicians, high-ranking police officers, and judges, then we will see these things.
Everybody.
You know why I will voice my opinion and voice it this way? Because I expect this government not to put me at the mercy of the People's National Party if they should ever win power. I want the government to put in place the legislation that protect me, that me not live on the hope and the will of politicians or the will of an institution. Me want to live by the will of the law.
Hear me?
You're sweet. I will always hear your voice.
Good night, everybody. We did the old man, I take care of my little business, you know? So, and now.
Good evening, everybody. Evening.
May I have to jump in a little bit. I think
connecting. Sorry, not protecting, connecting.
If you allow me to speak quick, just real quick, if you don't mind. Connecting, me know me I cut you. Chuck, what happened? Remember,
you're breaking up. We're not doing it.
Right?
You're breaking up. You're speaking. We're not doing it clearly. I'm connecting to that. You can go and tell Sheik already.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Evening again. You know, I understand the pain that Omado is experiencing. But what you should remember, you know, we should not forget that we are coming from a very dark place in this country with corruption. Very dark place under the PNP. And one of the first order of business is to keep them in opposition. So long as we can manage to keep them in opposition, Jamaica good. You know, I kind of phrased some years ago, corruption and incompetence are identical twins. Because sometimes what is playing out is corruption, but it can be disguised. What is playing out is corruption, but it can be disguised. It can be disguised as incompetence. I have seen, me take for me two highs them and say blatant corruption are played out in the courts in Jamaica. Me take for me two as a detective and stand up in a court and say blatant judges and prosecutors, PNP judges and PNP prosecutors have played out corruption in our courts. Starting from way back in the 1980s and up to recent years. Me take for me 2 years as a detective and see the unaliving case, right? Remember the 2 youth from tapping the St. Elizabeth?
Yes, I remember.
1 and 7, 1 and 8. I sat in the gun court and watched that trial, the entire trial. Pure corruption at pure night, as far back as the 1980s. Right? I had a case in St. Ann where I locked up a policeman. He's from Jungle. The PNP was in power. You see? And when the judge came, that judge, it was the first trial date, you know, the case was coming over. First time before the circuit court. And there were a number of other cases there, which were very old cases. And a number of them were set as priority cases. And that judge put off every one of them with disdain and tried the policeman and let him go. Yes, man. Me take for me 2 years in that case. This could be about 2007, 2008. Maybe 07 more than 08. And the case was disposed of, and he was scot-free, and his son was scot-free. The judge came specifically for that case. No other case. So when we are telling you these things, sometimes, some of the times when we are telling people about the PNP, look how long Mark Golden is sitting down on this matter and don't say a word. And everybody are calling him here, and Maxine and Wilson jump out. Maxine, a former General Secretary of the People's National Party, former Minister of Education, former Member of Parliament, PNP MP, PNP Minister, PNP General Secretary. I call for the Jacden man head. I'm not going to say nothing. The so-called integrities are where PNP are going to try to show that. But the integrity what? What integrity? And we must ease about these things, you know. Since somebody else once said, come see the young Jamaica caller, but I haven't heard from the other group, Generation 2000. I haven't heard them. The Jamaica Labour Party itself, not necessarily the government, but the JLP as a group should let them voices be heard. And when the government gets to the parliament, they must broadside Golden, make you understand, say, look here, no, because you have this eye color sitting there, I'm like, you broadside him because him get up attack.
High C indicate that there's a low color, no high color around here.
Eh?
Not to cut you connecting, but I have to go. My my 4 nice pillows are calling me, and they're, you know, I have to go keep their company. So good night, everybody.
Yeah, man,
behave like nobody envy you for your single life.
I love it. And so my pillows are just so cuddly beside me. So good night, everybody. Continue the discussion. It was great great being here.
Good night, Angel. Sleep well, darling.
Good night. I will. Bye-bye.
And just in case you see Chuck in your dream, you call upon me, make we get rid of the gremlin out of your dream.
Chuck in my dreams. Ew, Chuck is my brother. No. Bye.
Bye-bye, Angel. So gentlemen and ladies, we have come a long way. We have come a long. Look at the police force today. The police force that I served for a decade. The PNP packed up its surrogates. Police commissioner PNP, the deputy of PNP, the assistant commissioner. You can't get a promotion to them the high rank there under the PNP. As a matter of fact, that came straight out of the Petrojam committee in the 1970s. We then set up the surrogate in a public service, all over the public service, to carry out the agenda that Samba told us about. Pack it up with PNP because we have an agenda. They didn't hide it, no. They didn't hide it.
I'm connecting. Repeat that one for the public. It fly over some people.
Pack it up with PNP because we have an agenda.
And who said that again, sir?
The ambassador, Samba.
And what of which party?
Well, she's a former minister of tourism. Former member of parliament, former senator, former member of parliament. Former member of parliament, former senator, former minister under the People's National Party. Told us that. And by the way, it's not that she was in an interview, you know, and she was being questioned by journalists or anything. She went to the conference center downtown, and pat her chest. And when she used the expression, Motto Birkin used to repeat it almost on a daily basis, several times a day. May his soul continue to rest in peace. So yes.
Connecting to that.
Yeah.
Let me say something. You know what makes institution in countries differ? The institutions are run by people. We cannot live on the hope and the will of people. We have to live on the hope and we have to live by the laws. So we have to have accountability and enforcement in order to get the institutions to give the people of Jamaica the results that they need. I am calling up on my Prime Minister to put these things in place so that me not get a rollover in case the Jamaican people them decide any day to change over to the People's National Party.
Mario, what is the system you create corrupt? What do you expect? Look on the integrity corruption. Look at the Prime Minister. If one side are corrupt the system, what do you expect? If the judges are corrupt,
Connecting the Integrity Commission is exactly